The following message is transmitted at the request of Dr. Ron Paul. It's happening. I could have saved you. I tried to warn you, but you looked away. You asked for this. You've made your bed, now lie on it. Why didn't you listen? You cannot stop it. It hasn't even begun. It's too late. I told you so. Why did you believe them? Don't call it a grave. It's the future you chose. We are trapped in the belly of this horrible machine, and the machine is bleeding to death. It didn't have to end like this. You could have prevented this. You only had to listen. It's happening. It's over. The following message is transmitted.
Okay, we're live for those just joining. There is a active shooter situation going on in San Bernardino, but reportedly 1 to 3 individuals heavily armed with body armor. I've got a couple of streams up, so I'm just going to jump over those in 1 second. Then I've got 2 hashtags going, I guess, for people that are actually at the scene or involved in it to try to communicate with each other. That's the information I understand. But 1 to 3 individuals heavily armed, apparently in body armor. There's no official description from the police as to who they are. Speculation is it's 3 white males. Other people have said it's Hispanic. Some have said it's Muslim. It's really not known at this point. But 20 people have been shot. There are reports that 12 are dead. This happened, I believe, at the Inland Community Center or thereabouts in San Bernardino. So I'm going to switch it over. Try that again.
Now again,
let's see what happens.
There's a maximum journalism that first reports are always wrong. And so much of this information is going to change as we get better information all the time. But this is a San Bernardino Police Department spokeswoman who says it appears that there are multiple shooters and the attackers are in, as what she called, military-style attire. Great deal that we do not know about what has happened, except that we are certain there has been another mass shooting in America, and this one figures to be a very bad one. San Bernardino, California, 60 miles east of Los Angeles, part of the Inland Empire of California. This in a state office building, a large office building that houses 670 staff members on any given day providing services to the mentally disabled. But again, the CEO of the office there has said, and there's the building now.
So there you have it. That's the first confirmed report that the shooting apparently was a fit of homicidal rage against the retarded. It's the Inland Regional Center for the Mentally Handicapped, and they went in there and genocided them. So I'm not sure what group is responsible for this mass fucking assault or why they would go after the handy-capable, but apparently that is what they targeted first. So the handicapped are being wiped out in San Bernardino, and if you've been anywhere in California, that's a big job to undertake because the state is pretty much fully fucking retarded.
Police vehicles, some armored police vehicles, some armored bomb squad vehicles have been pouring into the area. But what we see less of is the fire department and ambulances and paramedics. They have, at least according to these pictures that we're seeing live, it appears that the paramedics have largely withdrawn. Presumably they've been given an all clear that there aren't any more wounded in urgent need of medical care, because we have seen them picking up their medical equipment and driving the ambulances away. There have been a number of text messages that have come out of the shooting scene. We have a picture of a phone with one of the text messages from someone who was inside. It says, "There's a shootout at my work. I'm scared." And then the reply, "Want me to come get you? I love you."
Even an emergency spell check doesn't work. "There's a shootout at my work. In scared. Want me to cone get you? I love you. Stay down low as you can." That's the last thing they're ever going to read, is their inability to fucking type properly while bullets are whizzing over their head. So it looks like the situation at the Inland Regional Center is diffused right now. Somebody in chat said there were shots fired at a target nearby. I don't know if that's connected to it or not. I know they have the scene completely fucking locked down. There are cops out there and tactical gear. They have the SWAT on site with the fire department. You can see the vehicles right there. So they've got armored vehicles everywhere. The last report I had heard, there was an SUV that fled the scene, a black SUV. The police wanted to question them. I don't know if that is related to the suspects, if that's a witness to the event, if that's somebody connected to people that were shot. But there are no reports right now. ATF and FBI are on the scene as well. So they've got everybody there. SWAT, ATF, FBI, local police, sheriff, county, fucking everyone is descending on the Inland Regional Center. But as for the suspects, are they still in there? Are they gone? There's no report just as yet where they are.
So recently, Jan?
Well, Scott, you know, it was just so striking when we were hearing from some of the family members standing there frantically trying to find their loved ones or confirm that their loved ones were fine. And the frustration we heard in one father's voice that this seems to keep happening. Why is this happening? Well, actually, there are statistics.
The news confirms that it is indeed happening right now. Let's jump over to the Fox stream and see if they have any different information. Oh, shit. I'm going to need to unmute that.
Suspects have not been caught. We know that there are multiple suspects. We're hearing reports of 3 suspects involved in this mass shooting. At least 3 people killed, 20 people injured. Earlier today, we heard of reports of up to 12 people killed. Again, police have not held any official press conference right now, so we don't have official numbers as of right now. Again, this is a developing story, a very active scene in San Bernardino, California. San Bernardino is in Southern California, just about 60 miles east of Los Angeles.
So 3 people confirmed dead, 20 injured. And again, the suspects are on the loose. Suspects wearing masks, witnesses said. Earlier on, people were saying that they were wearing some kind of armament, whether that's bulletproof vests or some kind of actual body armor. The reports that I heard on the radio, because I was out earlier, so I was driving, but the reports I heard earlier were what's akin to, if you've ever played Payday, it sounded like a fucking Payday heist, like they were fully kitted out in body armor with death squad masks on and fully automatic assault rifles, and were just going through these different areas, killing people indiscriminately.
Within minutes.
Within minutes.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
All right, thank you.
I just, and I'm basing that on the radio traffic when I heard it go out, and then it was a short time later there was somebody on scene.
So we don't even know if there's a confirmed suspicious device. That could just be
Correct.
Okay. Sergeant, if you would just say your name for our record.
Vicky Cervantes.
Okay. And with the San Bernardino Police Department?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to have you move this way just a little bit. If you would, just tell me what's the latest here on this shooting situation.
It's still an active, fluid situation. Officers are on scene. We're trying to secure the building, make sure we get all of the victims and witnesses out of the building, and again, verify that there are no shooters remaining inside.
So is there an active search inside the building for a shooter that may still be in there?
I believe there may be. I don't know all the details on that, but it is still, until we get everybody out, we do have to verify that.
Okay, so it appears that they're sweeping the building. Just given the location that this is happening at, this is merely speculation on my part, but it's an Inland Regional Center. It apparently is a community service for the mentally handicapped. I can think of no other reason that 3 individuals would go down there and start shooting it up unless they had some kind of connection to it. Whether this is a family of somebody who's mentally disabled, or this is somebody... I can't think of what the message is for attacking this specific location. Nobody really... There's no statements released. There's been no notes. None of the witnesses have said that any of the shooters were doing anything or saying anything that would lead them to believe that this was for a specific purpose. So I guess I'm completely lost as to why this would be the target. People in chat are saying, ban all guns. That's already getting passed around under the hashtag San Bernardino. If you were to go onto Twitter right now, that is the discussion that everybody in California is bringing up. They want to ban all guns. This is their their reasoning, this shooting situation, is their reasoning for that.
All right, guys, going to show you these aerials now. These are live aerials coming in. That is a close-up of the building where the shooting took place, the IRC Conference Center right there. Inland Regional Center, there are a couple of buildings. It's unclear which building as of right now the shooting took place. There are 3 buildings.
Earlier on, too, on the CBS stream before I went live, they were mentioning that a specific group had the, I think she said IRC or the RIC, the convention center. Somebody had rented it out 2 days, 3 days prior to the shooting. So whether they're connected to the shooters or whether the shooters went there to attack, whoever had actually rented out this space is still unknown. But there might be a lead there. There might be information there as to what group rented it and why they were attacked. So it could be that these people showed up to attack whoever was at the convention hall, and for whatever reason that group wasn't there, and so they moved on and they attacked the Inland Regional Center, which is for the mentally handicapped, as a secondary target. That looks like we lost audio. I'm going to jump.
We know that 4 adults.
So it could be that these people.
By sheriff's deputies on Waterman, that is the street where this building is located in San Bernardino.
Chat saying my voice sounds weird. Probably. I've got a cold right now. We'll go back to CBS, see if they have any new information.
Then on October the 1st, 9 were killed and 7 wounded at the Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, Oregon. And then just last Friday, 3 dead, 9 wounded at the Planned Parenthood clinic in Colorado Springs. And now, here a few days later, another mass shooting in America, and this one has the appearance of being a very bad one indeed. The police in San Bernardino are telling us that there are multiple fatalities. We've been told that there are 20 or so people who have been shot. The San Bernardino police spokeswoman says that the police have been told that at least one of the shooters may have left the scene in a black SUV. Now, these are, of course, early minutes in all of this, and some of this information is certainly going to change as we learn more. But we do know that a group of police vehicles left the area at high speed with their lights and sirens going, and that is because one witness told the police that one of the shooters may have left the scene. The witness may be in error, but the police are taking no chances. The police told us that they were looking for at least one active shooter, maybe as many as 3, based on witness reports inside this state of California office building. These are live pictures that you're seeing now of the area around the Inland Regional Center, which provides services to the developmentally disabled. This area has been locked down tight for more than 2.5 hours now. That is the building complex on the right in the lower part of the screen where the shooting occurred. We're not exactly sure which building, but this is an office building that holds as many as 670 staff members. It appears to be an ambulance there, might be a police vehicle, hard to tell from this vantage point. All the vehicles are still in the parking lot. The people who work in these buildings were evacuated on foot and were marched by the police with their hands up to a safe area and are being bussed away from the area, presumably to be interviewed by the police.
So that's the latest from CBS. No suspects in custody right now. Shooters actively at large, could be 1 to 3 people, and there are confirmed fatalities. I don't know if that's the 20 injured includes the 3 that are dead, or if that's on top of it. So it's anywhere from 20 to 23 people have been shot. SUV has left the scene. I'm going to check out their little hashtag and see if they have any information about it. I still laugh at people who blame guns for mass shootings. My heart goes out to San Bernardino. Stay safe, everyone. What the fuck is wrong with white men? Last week a clinic, and this week people with disabilities. San Bernardino. Get ready to hear a lot of that, folks. You're going to be hearing a lot of people saying that this is the reason we need gun control. Every time there's a shooting in the country, everybody's clamoring to take away the guns. How many guns right now are in America? If it was really epidemic proportions, there are enough guns to arm every single person. So why aren't there fucking mass shootings every single day? Why aren't the streets filled with blood if guns were facilitating psychopaths killing everyone? Maybe the people doing this shit are fucking bonkers, and you should be looking at them rather than using that for a platform for gun control. We saw this after Sandy Hook as well, where people wanted to take away all the guns. Praying for San Bernardino, another mass shooting, this time in California. Prayers for the people. I can't read that. What are you saying? How many more mass shootings before stricter gun laws are enacted? Another disgraceful leftist stepping on the bodies to push a political agenda. And that's exactly where we're going to go. This is going to be the conversation for the next fucking 3 or 4 weeks. Now, I don't know who the shooters are, and I don't know why the hell they would target a center for the mentally handicapped, which is a bizarre target. But it's going to be the argument you're going to hear. And it's going to be pushed. I wouldn't be surprised if Obama goes on weeping, as he usually does, crying about how this is just another reason to get rid of the guns. I'd say the terrorists have definitely won San Bernardino. There are rumors circulating right now that the shooting is in relation to a group of Muslims. There are also rumors that they're a group of hillbilly white guys that are just out hunting retards. And there's another report out there that they are 3 Hispanic males. So I have no clue who's doing it. There's no official response from the police department as to what group of people is out there doing this. Police department responding to multiple possible sightings, including one near a mall with possibly armed suspects. That was 4 minutes ago. I don't know what mall is near this inland regional center, but it's possible that those are the suspects. I'm not speechless, shocked, or praying. Public shootings are as American as apple pie at this point. San Bernardino. And you can tell what political faction this individual is a part of. Left 2016 Action. I'm sure he's happily voting for Hillary when the time comes. Or Bernie in his magical handout bag of goodies. 994 mass shootings in 1,004 days is complete insanity. Now another nightmare is unfolding in San Bernardino. And this is courtesy of CNN. My girlfriend started her first day of work as a nurse at Loma Linda Medical Center. My mom lives near the shootings. Pray for them. As I said, a lot of people are using the actual tag to try to communicate with each other. It seems that the situation is done now, so I'm not certain why they would need to do that.
Shooting, the gunman ends up taking his life or ends up getting in a shoot-off with police and ends up being killed that way. And, you know, police then issue a statement that there is no longer an active threat.
Yeah.
And in this situation...
Now we got up to 3 suspects on the loose, and who knows what they're going to do.
Right. I mean, we don't know right now. They obviously know that they are being looked for. They were described as wearing tactical gear, masks. If, you know, the shooter is thinking logically, I assume they're removing...
Well, that is a good point, chat. Somebody was bringing up Bernie Sanders. This is San Bernardino. So maybe somebody was literally trying to make people feel the burn so they know who to vote for. Maybe this is a leftist spree killer. We don't know. There's no information. Maybe this is a new strategy to get Democratic votes in 2016.
Yeah.
What the motivation was, why they targeted the Inland Regional Center. You know, last week on Friday, when you hear that there is a gunman at Planned Parenthood, you can kind of assume. Yeah. You can kind of understand what ideology may have led to that shooting.
Maybe this is one of another soft target.
We don't know. I don't know. We do know, however, that another group was renting out that conference room or had reserved that conference room in the building.
Oh, boy.
So it's unclear whether that group specifically was targeted or if it was just coincidence that they were in that room and that the gunman picked, or the gunmen rather, picked a room at random.
Well, they had this pretty much mapped out, if you could think. I mean, look how they had a getaway and everything. I mean, it was bang, bang out.
Right.
Wow.
And
Fox is just as stumped as everybody else as to why exactly you would why you would pick this as the shooting location. Oh, here we go. Here we fucking go.
And there are some steps we could take, not to eliminate every one of these mass shootings, but to improve the odds that they don't happen as frequently. Common sense gun safety laws, stronger background checks, and for those who are concerned about terrorism, some may be aware of the fact that we have a no-fly list where people can't get on planes, but those same people who we don't allow to fly could go into a store right now in the United States and buy a firearm, and there's nothing that we can do to stop them. That's a law that needs to be changed. And so, my hope is that we're able to contain this particular shooting, and we don't yet know what the motives of the shooters are. But what we do know is that there are steps we can take to make Americans safer, and that we should come together in a bipartisan basis at every level of government to make these rare as opposed to normal. We should never think that this is something that just happens in the ordinary course of events, because it doesn't happen with the same frequency.
Yeah, I called it. Look at his eyes. He's all fucking weepy again. They're all red and tear-soaked. Once again, Obama gets up and gives a great emotional appeal for gun control in the country, while citing the security of Americans. This is the same individual that wants to force states to bus in refugees from Syria, which was a situation that created Paris in the first place, by not having their fucking head screwed on. So he wants to bring in mass immigration from the Middle East, possibly allowing terrorists in along with it. And at the same time, he turns around and says, no, but for your security, we need to take away your guns. Brilliant. That's brilliant, Mr. Obama. Fantastic. We'll jump back to Fox and Friends here. See if they've named Ben Garrison yet as a shooter.
Week doesn't go by where we don't talk about a mass shooting here on News Now. At least a month doesn't go by where we don't talk about a mass shooting here on News Now. And sometimes it's stories like this where it's developing throughout the day, and we're following it as it's actually happening.
This is the scary part. I think what's going to happen is what we're going to hear pretty soon is these people that ran away, I think they're going to start up again somewhere.
You think so? Well,
that's the scary part.
Though, just the fact that you just shared with us, the fact that the last time it was multiple suspects involved was Columbine, because so often we hear about these mass shootings.
They're always lone shooters.
Yep, exactly. So this is very concerning, at least here in the United States. Obviously, what happened in France, there were multiple suspects involved in that situation. The parents had. But we haven't really seen anything like that here in the United States.
Wow.
So Fox is convinced this is a school shooting, that that Dylan and his mate have come back from the dead, and their specters are wandering around San Bernardino right now, shooting people at the mentally handicapped Inland Regional Center. Because apparently, sometime during their school tenure, a retard, used his tard strength on them, and now they're out for revenge. So it's turned from a horrifying mass shooting into a spooky, scary skeleton story, courtesy of Fox 10 in Phoenix. Thank you, guys. It's quite fucking insightful. See if they've updated any information, possible location of the suspects, who the fuck did it. Absolutely sickened hearing about San Bernardino. Wow, can't even go out anymore. This nation needs some help. He's locked himself in his room. He just can't cope with the fact that somebody was shot in another city he doesn't live in. It's too much for him. Just too much. No surprise that a Muslim was responsible for the shootings of San Bernardino. Farouk Said. Now, I don't know if that is a potential name of one of the suspects. Again, the police haven't released any information, but you never know. Afternoons like this, I can understand why Jon Stewart left The Daily Show, San Bernardino. I'm not sure if Stewart ever was quoted as saying, I just can't take these mass shootings. I have to quit The Daily Show. There are just too many people getting shot in this country for me to tell a knock-knock joke. It's a special breed of coward that targets the disabled. San Bernardino. This does raise a good point. I don't know what their statement is going to be. I don't know what the shooters are going to say, but it's going to be really hard to be taken seriously when you're known for slaying retards. When you go in and kill the mentally handicapped, really nothing after that is going to be listened to in a serious manner. If these are Muslim terrorists, if this is ISIS, nobody's going to listen. If they're white supremacists, whatever your platform would be, how can you expect to be taken seriously when this is your target? Which leads me to believe that it might be connected to the convention center getting rented out. Again, that's pure speculation, but there are really no facts at the moment. Watermount Discount Mall near Sierra High School, a SWAT perimeter being set up in Pasadena. So I guess if you're near the Watermount Discount Mall, there's a perimeter being set up that potentially is where the suspects went. I'm sure the police are fanning out in every direction, attempting to locate them. Fox did bring up a good point, that the killers could start up again. They could target another area. They could really do anything at this point. Domestic terrorism is happening here at home, and we're too busy targeting Syrian refugees to see it. Here we go. Here's the fucking spin. Yep, thank you, Diana. This is going to be the cudgel which you're beaten with for disagreeing with immigration. How can you bring up the Syrian refugees? How could you turn them away when we have mass shootings? Where's your heart? Where's your priorities? Clearly, immigration is the answer to the fucking massacre that happened in San Bernardino. Diana, you're a fucking retard. What the fuck are you talking about? We're too busy targeting Syrian refugees to stop mass shootings in San Bernardino? Are you really that fucking inept? 7 short texts reveal so much information about what people are going through. Let's take a look here. Dad, shooting at my work. Shot people in office waiting for cops to catch him. Pray for us. Hide. Find a good spot. Hide now. I am. Cops on the way? I am, but we're locked in an office. Cop, SWAT, helicopter, everything, rifles, and then I can't see any more of it. So people were texting up. I'm glad you're all right, Asian nigga. San Bernardino. Nigga, are you okay? Where are you? You're not at school, are you? I'm okay. And no, I'm not in MV. Have work. Thanks for your concern. I'm so nervous for San Bernardino. Well, everyone, you can rest at ease. Asian nigga is fine. He's alive. He has not been shot. He is out there doing just fine.
I mean, there's a lot of members of the public that are here sort of standing around, milling around, from whether they came from businesses, whether they were inside the perimeter when all this happened. So again, and I know you and Aaron were talking about this also, I mean, if there's an active shooter on the loose, and this wouldn't be happening like this, because we're only a few blocks away from the scene.
All right, looks like they're sitting on a still shot. We'll check out CBS, see if they have any updated information.
This occurred. You heard the conversation in that interview a moment ago about the services that this state agency provides. This building houses the California Department of Developmental Services, and it provides all kinds of services, including housing and transportation and training to people with mental disabilities. The CEO of this particular office, regional office that serves San Bernardino and Riverside counties, has told reporters that they had rented out the auditorium, the conference center in the building, to an outside group, and she said that's where the attack occurred. We don't know any more about the nature of the outside group.
All right, yeah, I'm calling it now. Whoever rented the IRC conference center was the target, the intended target of this attack. Those 3 individuals went there to attack whoever that was. And once they were all, it's all or nothing, in for a penny, in for a pound. They're already kitted out in body armor. They've got the assault rifles, so they open up on the Inland Center because they figure, fuck it, we have nothing to lose. So I'm curious, who rented that conference center? What group was it? Because that will tell us who the shooters are, what their motivation is.
Our justice correspondent is talking to his federal law enforcement sources in Washington. Jeff, what do you hear?
Well, Scott, as you know now, the FBI and ATF are on the scene, and more help will be going to the scene from federal officials who are trying to gather as much information as possible right now. It is local agencies right now that are leading this investigation, but the FBI and ATF will assist, and that's something that we've seen in many of these active shooter situations. Also, we're learning that there is expected to be a news conference in the next few minutes, or at least coming soon, that we hope will provide more information.
People in the chat saying, Gamergate did this. Gamergate can't even run a hashtag anymore. I doubt they could organize a mass shooting. So I think we can put that one away. Now, other people were saying it was obviously Sam Hyde. I probably agree with that. That text message pretty much makes it clear that when they're saying Hyde, it's code word for watch out, the mass murdering white man who was previously in Minnesota is on the fucking loose and he's coming for you. So you've got multiple federal agencies on scene right now. Shooters still on the loose. No description of who they are, what the motivation is. Just the reports of 20 people injured and 3 dead. For the record, I hate these mass shootings, but gun control is not the answer. So my school is on lockdown, San Bernardino. There were reports earlier that they were locking down schools. So that would be confirmed, apparently. Where are they? Shooters got away. San Bernardino, fuck. Fuck you, NRA. All this blood is on your hands. San Bernardino. So, Bonkers, Badreth, is quite convinced that it is the fault of the NRA for 3 people lighting up a mentally handicapped social services office. Clear, that's on the NRA's website, if you've ever gone there. It says, right to bear arms, and right below it, in a little bit smaller text, it says, by the way, we like to kill and hunt retards. They're famous for it. Everybody knows. In fact, NRA stands for No Retards Allowed. It looks like Bonkers has solved the mystery. Congratulations, Bonkers. Fucking idiots. A lot of people offering prayers and support. Can someone fix the hashtag? How do you fix a hashtag? Looking for resources in response to the shooting, access NCTSN resources on our Pinterest board. Again, it seems like mostly people are trying to communicate with each other. A photo of heavily armed police and guard at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, which is, I believe, where they're bringing the people that were shot. 114,000 people listening to the San Bernardino police scanner. Now, that's where a lot of information is coming from. People have been posting snippets about suspect information, but they're still out there, and there's no definite location on where they are. The U.S. needs gun control. San Bernardino, where's 2015's mass shootings have occurred, in one map. And I suppose this is the map from the Washington Post. Interesting. There, all these mass shootings seem to be in states that vote Democrat. Isn't that weird? I'm seeing a lot of blue states with blue dots on them. That's kind of fucking weird, isn't it? I thought these people were all gun-free zones. Why are all these mass shootings happening in all these gun-free zones? That's surprising to me. It's very foolish to say, do not criticize the shooting. What has been done after the last 100 mass shootings? In the midst of devastation, always stand for freedom. Our founding fathers paid a price for it. America. San Bernardino shooter, USA. I don't know if this person is supporting them. I'm not sure if they're cheerfully saying if that's like a fucking, if that's like a chant, like a cheerleader chant. San Bernardino shooter, USA, #1. Because thoughts and prayers are just as good as solutions. You've always got a couple of the fedora tippers in there, yelling that people are offering prayers in the time of need. San Bernardino, update.
What's happening now is the Bernardino, California. The worrisome part about what's happening now is the 3 gunmen described by multiple witnesses that went into the building and opened fire are gone. They have left the area, and where they are right now is unclear. What we do know, and we're hearing again unconfirmed reports, as many as 12 people are dead, lots of others wounded, and an area hospital is on disaster alert right now where all the doctors and technicians are being ordered back to the hospital to deal with a mass casualty event. Stay with us for more.
Somebody in chat said, what about Texas on the map, Jim? That's not obviously a Democratic state. It's not a blue voting state. I would say all those shootings are related to Mexicans. Why do you think Trump wants to build that wall? Donald was right again. You can't stump him. There's your solution. That's a reasonable answer, isn't it? Middle Eastern males sought in San Bernardino mass shooting at Christmas party, 12 confirmed dead. Middle Eastern males. I don't know where that's coming from, but I saw somebody else earlier tagged in a specific name. I think it was Farouk something. I shouldn't have to keep praying for stuff like this that doesn't happen, but alas, hopefully everyone is safe. Let's go back and see if there's any more information.
He spoke with their daughter via text as the shooting was going on. Her daughter indicated that she had been shot in the side. She was bleeding. She was feeling cold, but she was still hiding under a desk at the time because they were concerned that there are still shooters in the building. That was some time ago. That woman has now been transported to a hospital. Her condition is unknown. But as we do know right now, there are many victims of this shooting. Many people have been shot, some confirmed fatalities right now, and police still trying to get a handle on where these suspect or suspects may be at this time. Again, the best information we have that at least one of them fled, Scott, in a dark SUV.
That is according to one of the witnesses speaking to reporters. Carter Evans, thank you very much. Carter's report right there at the scene where these events are unfolding live. We have a new interview now with a woman named Debbie Alvarado, maybe the same woman that Carter was just mentioning. Her daughter Michelle was shot, and Ms. Alvarado spoke to us a short time ago about what her daughter had to say. This is Debbie Alvarado.
She called. I called her. She texted me and she said she was cold, and she told me she was shot in her side, and that they were pretending to be dead because these guys were still out there. And she told me not to come. She told me it was dangerous. These guys are still at large. You know that, right? Yes. They haven't caught them. Can you get out? I have to get out.
That is Debbie Alvarado, the mother.
Well, just how the mother talked about it, I'd say that's pretty good confirmation. If the daughter told her, I've been shot and we're playing dead because these guys, plural, are going around shooting everyone, that would seem to confirm that it is more than one person. Though the witness earlier said that they saw one, at least, flee in an SUV. So there's no specific information. That's the craziest thing about this. There should be cameras everywhere. Cameras on this building, if it's a governmental center. If it's performing a service, you would think there'd be cameras. They could look at the tape and say, we've got one person, we've got three people, this is what they look like, this is the vehicle they drove away in. There are gas stations nearby. There are different buildings nearby that should have film they could look at to find out who the fuck these people are and what direction they went in. But right now, they're at large. They're armed and they are at large. And apparently nobody knows who the fuck they are, what the fuck they look like, and why they did what they did. There's still no release of information as to what group rented out that conference center. It's too coincidental that it was rented out 2 days ahead of time for today, and they went to shoot that up, and nobody was there, so they went to the Inland Center right next door. They have to be connected. There has to be some kind of connection to that conference center.
San Bernardino, east of Los Angeles, that there was an active shooter situation. Police have since told us that there are multiple fatalities. We do not know how many. That there are multiple people who have been wounded. Hospitals have reported 13 people in their emergency rooms. This is an aerial view of the Inland Regional Center, which is a state of California office building. Those two buildings, the white roofs that turn in toward each other, and what appears to be some kind of a conference center there in the middle. The CEO of the Inland Regional Center has said that the shooting occurred in the conference center and that they had rented the conference center out to an outside group today. But she did not mention which group that was. But the CEO of the Inland Center said that it was in that area, in the conference center, where the shooting occurred.
You know, do you think we could use social media to try to contact the people that rented out the center to find out what group rented it? Or do you think they have a public log on a website that says, sorry, we can't rent out the convention center, this group has it for today? We should be able to track this information down. If this is run through the state of California, it should be open and transparent. There should be a way to find out. We should be able to contact the people renting the convention center out, or find a website that lists what group has it. Then we can at least stop speculating as to what the motivation might have been. But I guarantee you, if that's why they went there, whatever that group was, is going to give you massive insight into who the gunmen are and why they showed up. It's just remarkable to me that that information's not out yet.
And God bless. This is when our police are so appreciated. Bernie Sanders saying mass shootings are becoming an almost everyday occurrence in this country. This sickening and senseless gun violence must stop. Ted Cruz saying our prayers are with the victims, their families, and the first responders in San Bernardino who willingly go into harm's way to save others. Governor Chris Christie saying praying for all those victimized by the shootings in San Bernardino.
Somebody in chat said that it was rented out to, rented out to the county personnel holiday, possibly medical staff. Put that up in chat again so I can read it. It's going by too quickly. Conference center he rented to a group out for county personal holiday department. So this could be connected to, if this was rented to state personnel, it could be connected to the state. Could these be ex-employees? Could these be people that were, has California laid anybody off? Is this department that, supposedly rented out the conference center, have they cut staff? Could this be like a, oh God, you know how everybody makes jokes about the post office going postal? They get fired, they can't take the stress of the job, they shoot the place up. Is it possible that's what happened here? See if I can find more information in a bit.
Loophole. We're going to close the Charleston loophole and the immunity for the gun makers and sellers. And listen to this. This is what gets me. You know what I just outlined? All of that is supported by 92% of Americans, and more importantly, 83% of gun owners support that agenda because they want to be responsible.
Okay, they said San Bernardino Department of Health. Somebody else confirmed that. So the San Bernardino Department of Health rents out the convention center, and the day they rent it out, or the day the conference is, or around that time, 3 armed gunmen show up to kill the people there. I'd love to know what their budget is and if they've let anybody go, if anybody's been fired in the last couple of months, if there's something fucked with people's severance packages, or what the conference was about specifically.
With everyone that is affected here.
And we're going back to our aerial images courtesy of Skyfox. You can see the buildings at the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, California. There are multiple floors involved. According to one witness, one gunman made it to the 2nd floor is what we're being told. Obviously, different witnesses experienced different accounts of the shooting.
Somebody in chat saying that the Inland Center doesn't just help the mentally disabled, but they do sex education for them? What form of sexual education for the mentally handicapped does Inland perform exactly? And what kind of sex education program would spur on people to go there and murder, or to attempt to murder 20-plus individuals?
Involved in this tragic situation.
Very tragic, and I'm scared that it might not be over.
People in chat speculating this could be anti-abortion. It could be related to abortion practices through the California Department of Health. If that were true, let's speculate. Let's say you're right. Let's say they went there because they're anti-abortion activists and they were angry about abortion policies and sexual education for the mentally handicapped. Well, now these suspects are gone from the scene, right? They're still heavily armed and the police haven't caught them or identified them yet. So we should be able to figure out where they're going to go next, right? They're going to try to do maximum damage if that's the point they're making. So how many abortion clinics are nearby the Inland Regional Center? Because chances are, if that's what the group is out to do, they're going to hit one of them. So you could draw a map and find all the abortion clinics surrounding it in a, draw a radial map. All the abortion clinics surrounding it for, let's say, 30 to 50 miles are open game if that's what these people were out to do. What is this? This is obviously a racist police shooting. Clearly, chat, that's what it is.
Would appear from the outside that the emergency is largely over. These again are the office workers being bussed, and that is the building complex where this mass shooting occurred. There's no word on the motive. No one has claimed responsibility for these events. We do not know who is responsible. There's a police officer stepping out of the front door of the building, and walking back in, but again, very calmly. The police briefing will be coming any minute, and we will switch to that the moment that it happens. Police have said that there may be multiple gunmen, that witnesses said they were dressed in, quote, military-style gear. They opened fire apparently in the conference room, the conference center of this state of California office building that houses services for the developmentally disabled. The area is still on lockdown, as you see. Police armored vehicles in the area. Jan Crawford has been following these events with us all afternoon in our Washington bureau. Jan?
Well, I thought the reporting by Carter Evans there on the ground, as you reflected, Scott, the mood of calm by law enforcement suggests that they have moved on and there's an active search underway.
Yes, they've calmed down. They only have a mass murderer.
And folks, we're just, wow, just minutes away from a press conference where we're hoping to get more information here for you. Obviously, a very fluid situation today that has been happening and still happening in California, where on any given day.
Okay, well, we'll wait for the press conference. We'll take a look, see if any information came out. Hopefully people would be putting in the tag if they had any idea. Oh, here we go. San Bernardino, wake up America. The NRA is the enabler of death, paranoid, delusional, and as venomous as a scorpion. With the weak-kneed acquiescence of our politicians, the National Rifle Association has turned the Second Amendment of the Constitution into a cruel and deadly hoax. So we're already going to jump into the gun control argument. Before the bodies are even really, removed from the scene, the building is cleared and the suspects rounded up. They're already calling for this. We have no idea who did this and why. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. Is the right to own a gun worth more than the life of an American? San Bernardino. Thoughts rationalize the need for automatic weapons. Prayers fuel hateful, oppressive rhetoric. For once, spare us, San Bernardino. That is some fucking heavy fedora tipping. Gunfuck is outrage at gun sense, not San Bernardino or Planned Parenthood shooters. Can't wait to hear motives after this one. Well, again, I'm going to speculate that what we're seeing here, if that's accurate, if it was rented out, if that hall was rented out by the Department of Health, and there's sexual education programs going on next door, that it could very well be related to some kind of an abortion thing. If that's the case, every fucking abortion clinic in the nearby area, a 30-mile radius, should lock the fuck down right now, because if these people are on the loose and the police are after them, they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose by kicking in your door and shooting you up. That would be my advice, is to lock it down and get the fuck out of there. Again, that's speculation. We don't know who it is. Has that Canadian-Cuban moron Ted Cruz blamed Democrats yet for the terrible violence in San Bernardino? As president, how do you deflect ISIS nightmare? Order up a San Bernardino. People are already saying that this is a false flag operation to deflect away from ISIS or to bring up gun control. I'm not sure exactly a false flag for what, but it looks like the news conference is starting here. Or it should be shortly. They're replaying Obama crying like a bitch on television, telling everybody that we need to prevent violence in America by letting in immigrants. I'm not sure how that works, but that's his solution. Conservatives, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Climate change is a hoax. Evolution is a hoax. San Bernardino. So this is already being drawn up along political lines. And you're going to see that as we continue. It's going to become egregious. This is going to be the next 2 weeks after this shooting. Latest on mass shooting in San Bernardino, at least 20 victims. So there's no new information. Oh, here we go. Press conference is starting. I'm going to shut up and let it play.
Hi there. I am Lieutenant Brad Toms with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Public Affairs Division. I'd just like to provide you with a telephone number in the event that you have information for investigative leads. The number that will be manned by the Sheriff's Department will be 1-866-346-7632. You can also call 1-800-78-CRIME if you wish to remain anonymous. I'll make a couple of quick introductions. We have Chief Jared Berguan from the San Bernardino Police Department standing here to my right, Sheriff John McMahon to my left here, and the Assistant Director in charge of the LA Office of FBI, David Bowditch. David, with that, I will hand it over to Chief Berguan.
Good afternoon, everybody. So this originally started off at 11 o'clock this morning, late this morning, early afternoon. We received a call here at the Inland Regional Center, 1400 block of South Waterman, of a shooting. It was quickly apparent that we had what amounted to an active shooter situation. There was a massive law enforcement response that initially was officers from our department that responded, and then very quickly, as word spread through the region, we had a massive mutual aid response from virtually every law enforcement agency in the immediate area, to include the Sheriff's Department, Colton Police Department, Fontana Police Department, the California Highway Patrol, Probation Department, Parole. A number of agencies responded. What we have so far is information that up to 3 people had entered the building and had opened fire on people inside of the building. We do have some preliminary numbers of upwards of 14 people that are dead and upwards of 14 people that are injured. We think those are pretty reliable, but keep in mind those are potentially subject to change. They are preliminary numbers. The 14 that are wounded have been taken to various area hospitals. In addition to the law enforcement response, there was a massive medical aid response from San Bernardino City Fire Department, other area fire departments, as well as the ambulance, American Medical Response. As officers initially arrived on scene, they went into the active shooter protocols, the things that we trained for. They immediately entered the building in search of the suspects. Initial information is that the suspects were potentially still inside of the building. It is a massive facility, employs several hundred people, and it's taken a long time to clear the building. In fact, I think we still have assets inside that are completing that clearing process. Information that I think is probably the most reliable at this point is that the suspects have fled, potentially in a dark-colored SUV. We do not have any identification on who those suspects are. We do not know what the motive is for the shooting at this point. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Sheriff for a couple of comments.
Thank you, Chief. We're working closely with the San Bernardino Police Department in a unified command, as well as our federal partners, to make sure that we have the resources we need to thoroughly investigate this event. Our officers are working hand in hand with members of the San Bernardino Police Department, as well as the other agencies, to search the building as the Chief indicated. That search is still ongoing. We have also, because of the information that the suspects may have fled the area, we have also shut down and locked down the courts and the local city and county buildings in the general area around San Bernardino. We have an increased law enforcement presence at all the high-profile areas, including hospitals. We've been in contact with the school district and their school police chief to take care of the school side of things. We continue to make sure that we do everything we can to keep the public safe. We've been in contact with the Board of Supervisors. They've pledged their full support and the resources that they have to help solve this as well. We will work together to investigate this case once the scene is secure and work hand in hand with the City of San Bernardino as we do in other high-profile events. I'll now have Dave Bowditch, Assistant Director of the FBI, say a few words.
Thank you, Sheriff. The FBI is here with our state and local partners, as well as our partners from the ATF, and we are here to essentially assure that all the wounded are extracted, and ultimately public safety is the #1 goal at this point. And we will work as a law enforcement community to assure that we have done everything we can in our power to find, locate, and apprehend these subjects. At this point, I know one of your questions is going to be, is this a terrorist incident? I will tell you right now, we do not know if this is a terrorist incident. So we start from the beginning, working with all our local partners. We take the presumption that it may be, it may not be, but we will work hand in hand with them from the beginning If things change, we are here from the get-go, and there is no steps lost as the investigation proceeds. At this point, I'm going to turn it back over to the chief.
So very quickly, after the initial response, we have several hundred people that were in the building that are not injured. Those people have been taken to a safe location, and they are part of the investigation. In addition to that, we know that this is a human incident, and this is a tragedy. And we know we've got a lot of folks out there that are very concerned and very worried about their loved ones that may have been at that facility today. We've set up an area at the Hernandez Center at the corner of 3rd and Sierra Way here in the city of San Bernardino for family members to go for information. We will push information out to that for those family members as we can. Also, the Sheriff's Department put out the crime tip hotline number. If anybody has any information, we'd very much like to hear from you. So with that, I will take a couple of questions. Start with Rob.
Do you have any information on this event that was happening? Apparently, these upwards of 3 gunmen stormed into.
I don't. I've heard everything that it was a meeting to a potential like a lunch type gathering, maybe for the holidays. That's not confirmed. That is very preliminary. It's my understanding that most of the people that were wounded, most of the victims, were all centrally located in one area of the facility.
Have any weapons or body armor, anything like that, been recovered?
In terms of the employees, it's my understanding this facility has both state and county employees, as well as folks that work for a number of organizations. The Inland Regional Center serves a number of organizations that treat mental illness type issues and that sort of stuff. I don't have any idea. I know that state and local county employees work there. I do not know if any of them are the victims or who they are at this point.
Do we know if any children are among the victims?
I do not have any information that any children were involved.
Have there been any weapons?
On the weapons used and the number of people involved here, given what you have in the way of evidence, witness accounts, and everything else, would you characterize this as an organized event? What were these men using and shooting at people with?
Preliminary information indicates that these are people that came prepared. That they were dressed and equipped in a way to indicate that they were prepared, and they were armed with long guns, not handguns. I do not know what type of long guns.
How were they dressed?
I don't know.
Have any of those weapons been recovered here at the scene?
We do not have any weapons recovered at this point.
What were they wearing that indicates they were prepared?
Left just a little bit. There's a shadow. Thank you.
Sorry.
Hey, Chief, can I ask for clarification? You said upwards of 14 dead. What does upwards mean, at least?
The preliminary number we have right now is that there are 14 people that are deceased, and our count is another 14 people that have been taken to various hospitals for significant injuries potentially related to gunshots. We also have a number of other people that may have had some minor types of injuries. They fell down in the course of fleeing or something of that nature, but roughly about 14 that we believe are wounded.
Security cameras inside the building where we might give you video evidence of what happened.
I would imagine there are, but we're not that far into the investigation yet.
Chief, we're live on KTLA.
We're not that far into the investigation. You have active shooters out in the community right now, armed with fucking rifles and dressed in body armor. And you're not that far into the investigation to go look at the fucking footage to see what they look like, so you know who the fuck to look for. Also, we don't have any information as to what the facility was rented out for. I've already had people in chat bring up what it was rented out for. It was related to the health department in California. Somebody else said their budget was cut by $81 million this year. So it could very well be pissed off ex-employees. It could be a political statement, anti-abortion statement. It could have something to do with the mentally handicapped. But you have active shooters in the community right now. You're not shutting down any of the facilities nearby. If it's an anti-abortionist and they're going on some killing spree related to that, every goddamn abortion clinic in the area should be fucking locked down right now. You should be getting the people the fuck out of there. The numbers have been updated from 3 dead to 14 dead. 14 dead and 14 injured. These people, this group of men, aren't going to give themselves up. They're not going to just say, oh, well, we're done. 28 people shot, that's good enough. They're going to continue doing it. It's mind-boggling to me that he would say, we're not that far into the investigation. That should be the first fucking thing you're doing, is apprehending the suspects and using the evidence that you have at your disposal to identify them and to find them. These people have no information. They don't know who the fuck did it. This press conference is, we don't know. We don't know who they are. We don't know why they did it. We don't know where they went. We don't know what weapons they had, what body armor they had, what vehicle they were driving. And then fucking agent just cucked my shit up over there, who with the world's worst fucking haircut, comes on there and he's like, I just want to assure everybody that we're doing our best. Well, thanks, champ. Your best is really great. Love the modern American setting of a surveillance state where you can never prevent this shit from happening. You know, that's really working out. Good going, FBI. Really, way to stay on top of the fucking ball.
Seeing other facilities in the area that we think may be similar or may be similar, but we don't have any information or any credible threats to any other facilities at this point. But obviously, we're all on a heightened sense of alert. We would ask the public that they be on a heightened sense of alert, that they're watching out for those things. And if they come across information, contact us and let us investigate it.
What the hell is going on with California's police department? So, am I to understand that the police force, the FBI, and the ATF can't figure out who did this? So you want citizens to tweet the information to you? You inept fuck. You want people to give you the information to do your fucking job. Because you're not that far into the investigation yet to, take the time to enact the labor of looking at the goddamn surveillance tape. Are you fucking... Am I going crazy, Chad? Have I taken fucking crazy pills? Wouldn't that seem to be the most logical fucking course of action, to identify who the fuck did this? To find them and to stop them? To maybe put some preventative measures in place? They're talking about school lockdowns. I'd be locking the whole fucking area down. You've got all these assets on scene. Start fucking combing the streets. I refuse to believe that they can't use their traffic grid. I'm sure they've got traffic cams all over the goddamn place to try to pinpoint where this SUV went.
Bernardino police. The gunmen involved in this mass shooting have gotten away. The police don't have a description, except one witness described a dark SUV. The chief said that 14 people are dead, 14 people are wounded. He cautioned that that number was preliminary and could change.
Yeah, yes, Chad, it very much is the Berenstain reality. In the Berenstein reality, the proper one, the good one, the normal universe, this shit would have been taken care of in the first hour. But because we're dealing with the California version of the fucking Berenstain universe, the cops want you to tweet the information so they can make the arrest. Why not just redo their website? How about the FBI, instead of a tip line, puts up a fucking Facebook page? Hey guys, like the status update so we can figure out who the suspect is. And they can put up different statuses, white, black, fucking Mexican, driving this vehicle, driving that vehicle. Whatever one gets the most likes is the one they're going to go after. Because who wants to use surveillance tape? That's crazy.
All over Southern California now for the people who perpetrated this attack. We're going to go back in and listen to the San Bernardino Police Chief, Jared Bergwan, now.
As if they were on a mission.
How long were they inside shooting?
I don't know specifically.
Any
Several minutes.
Several minutes?
Well, we don't know. We did not. Our police officers have not engaged or exchanged gunfire with anybody, but we don't know if they were on scene when we arrived.
Chief, I don't know if you still covered this or not, but were the vast majority of the dead and wounded in one centralized location within the facility?
Yes, in the same general area of the facility.
Are we making an assumption, and I'm sorry if it's an assumption here, Chief, that they had targeted that particular room, those particular people?
I think we're a little too early in the investigation to even make that assumption. We don't know what the motive is at this point.
Hostages at any time? Were people tied up? Were they held in a room and told, or was it just a shootout?
We don't have any information that they took any hostages.
What kinds of weapons do you use? Could you describe what kinds of weapons they used? I'm sorry.
Long guns is what I've been told. I think there's people that speculate what type of long guns those are, but I don't want to put out a specific type of gun. I'm just going to say it was a long gun, not a handgun. They came in with a purpose. They came in with the intent to do something.
Was there any threat made to this facility prior to this incident?
I don't have specifics on that. So with that, we're gonna cut this off. We will be back every hour on the hour to provide an update. Even if we don't have anything specifically, we will come back to you every hour on the hour, at least for the next several hours, to provide an update.
You know, an update with no information. So to sum up the press conference, the police don't know who did it, why they did it, what they were armed with, where they went. They don't know how long they were really in there. Several minutes is awfully vague. Maybe ghosts are responsible for this. Maybe this is a promotional piece for the new Ghostbusters movie. And Hollywood set it up to get everybody ready to be spooked. Ooh, scary. Because apparently it has to be some fucking mythical creature that pulled off this shooting, because there's no evidence that anything happened. I like his, whether long guns. Can you be more specific? No, I can't. You can't look at the fucking shell casings on the ground? You can't tell me? If the walls are, peppered with fucking buckshot, give me a little more specific information as to what kind of rounds were fired in there. No, I have no idea. I haven't gone in the building. I don't get paid to do that. No, we're still clearing it. The building, by the way, isn't completely cleared yet. For all we know, 3 suspects are hiding in the fucking janitor's closet on the top floor right now. They don't know. They have no idea. But be sure to tune in every hour for those riveting fucking status updates from the police department in San Bernardino. And be sure to tweet them. They need all the information they can get. So, if you've seen Sam Hyde or Ben Garrison on the loose in San Bernardino, California, the police department desperately needs to know this. So, since the police are inept and they don't know what the fuck is going on, maybe people in the tag actually are doing their job for them. I'm sick of these mass shootings. They probably hopped on the FWY and are either here in Riverside County, San Diego, or Mexico. Well, Lindsey Jones, you could be right, because the cops don't know where the fuck they are. Maybe if they looked at the footage, they'd have an idea, but that would be too sensical to do that. And again, the numbers are updated. It went from 3 dead and 20 wounded to 14 dead and 14 injured, and 3 suspects escaped. So you have a group of individuals out there heavily armed in the neighborhood, and they have no idea what the fuck is going on or where they are. They cannot account for where they are right now. Well, I guess it's safe to say my potential trips to the States for conferences are canceled. Yeah, I maybe not go to the Inland Regional Center for your next fucking conference. That would probably be a good idea. Shooting suspects came prepared as if they were on a mission. Well, how do we even know that? They won't even tell us what type of gun or gear they had. They don't even know who they are or where they went. So how can they tell us they came prepared? It seems like either they're holding back information because they don't want to release it, or they really just have absolutely no idea what's going on right now. Upwards of 14 dead. Everybody's just talking about the numbers. Nobody's talking about where they might have seen the suspects currently.
The San Bernardino, California location, we reported 12 dead. Then we had confirmed 3 dead. Now we're hearing confirmed 14 and upwards of 14 individuals dead. And we suspect that means of the individuals that have been injured and taken to hospitals, some of them might not make it. I don't believe this is considered an active shooting situation any longer, but the suspects are still, technically, on the loose. A black SUV, a black Yukon SUV vehicle was seen leaving the location shortly after the shots were heard in the building and people were seen fleeing from the venue. It just feels like there's not a lot we don't know.
Yeah, there's not a lot you know. How long have I been streaming for? Let me see this. I've been streaming for an hour, and I heard about this SUV leaving the scene. They wanted information on it about a half an hour before I started streaming. So for an hour and a half now, they've known that this vehicle is out there, and they can't track it down. So they're never going to find it. They probably abandoned the vehicle. They probably switched to a different vehicle. If these individuals were really planning on doing something in a prepared manner, I wouldn't be surprised that they had a secondary vehicle, or they switched them, or they're taking some other mode of transportation right now. So finding the SUV is going to be like a wild fucking goose chase. I don't think it's going to yield very much information. Check my Twitter, somebody said. They might be withholding information. That could very well be it. Sounds like you're talking about Star Wars Battlefront. Have you seen how vague the patch notes are? No, I'm not talking about Star Wars Battlefront, because I'm never going to play the game. As for the patch notes, no interest in the patch notes. I wish my dick was a long gun. Don't we all? Don't we? I don't know what long gun's a weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Could you beat? What the fuck is he talking about? It was a long gun. Well, how do you know it was a long gun? Because it wasn't short, okay? Thank you, San Bernardino Police Department. Real fucking gun experts. I guess the ATF coached them on that answer with their fucking vast knowledge of shit. I have information on the shooting. I have investigated. It's the Illuminati. Poll can verify it. Well, King of Poll, if you're in, unless you're talking about Poll Board or King of Poll, Paul, if you're in the chat right now, can you verify this is the Illuminati that are doing this? Do a stream on San Bernardino. That's what I'm fucking doing right now. The Berenstain Bears are responsible for the shooting together with Sam Hyde. I have said that. You're right, Judas-based God. That is something I've told people. Following from Germany, love your stuff. Thanks for all the work. There's a Planned Parenthood right in the city. That would be my worry if they've had an hour and a half now to drive around. So wherever an hour and a half worth of driving at fucking, let's say, 60 miles an hour is going to get you, that's every place they could be hitting right now. Unless they're mythical creatures, unless they're actual ghosts. In which case, you're going to need a seance or an exorcism to catch them. Jim, we think that the suspects might be armed with AR-15s. What might be AR-15s armed with AK-47? Spread the word. The word is spread. Police radio not saying shit though. Yeah, it seems to me like they're. I can't. It's hard for me to accept they're this bad at their job. They have to be withholding information. A sad thing about San Bernardino is that this is the normal in our country. Mass shootings, prayers that do nothing, people mad, forget and repeat. Shooting at health center near San Bernardino, people are just now spamming the same information, which is no information. San Bernardino suspect. Police scanner reveals the name of one suspect in California mass shooting, Farouk Saeed. Identified suspect works at the center. Was acting strange immediately before the shooting. I don't know if this is real information or not, but there you go. Imagine a world where law enforcement was combating terrorism at the rate they're killing unarmed black men. What the fuck are you talking about? Look, I love that they're trying to bring the Black Lives Matters in thing. Like, there's some police conspiracy to target black people. Did you watch this press conference? Do you see how terribly organized they are? Do you think they could do anything in a fucking organized manner? They have the ATF, the FBI, local law enforcement, state police, county police, the fucking sheriff's department, all working together to give you no information because they're inept. So you think there's some grand conspiracy to keep targeting black people. These assholes can't even look at a videotape they have access to find out who the fuck shot the place up. Prayers going out to San Bernardino, another shooting, more lives lost. It breaks my heart that these things keep happening. Government workers at holiday party. That would be my two main leads in this. That it is related to somebody being fired from the Department of Health or from this particular branch, whatever the specific party was for, that they're a state or county employee and they've been fired and this is their revenge. This could be anti-abortionist. I don't know. But those seem to be the two main leads right now. There could be a completely unrelated one. It could be political. It could be terrorism. It could be fucking anything. But those are the two things I would be investigating if I were the police on scene at the moment. You know, after I looked at the fucking videotape. Black masks, AK-47 weaponry was sighted. Black Yukon Mercedes were known rides of the active shooters FBI. So they were wearing masks, aside from what the representative from the police force said of body armor, or some kind of armor, or bulletproof vest. And the long gun that he was referring to could potentially be what this person is saying, AK-47. Let's see if there's any new information.
Police were also investigating a suspicious device at the scene, which is near a golf course. Marcos Aguirre.
So a golf course is involved now, a suspicious device. So let me walk you through what happened today. A couple of golfers were out on a par 4 course, and they bogeyed the shit out of that motherfucker. So they're like, you know what? Let's go kill some retards. So they hopped in their golf cart, and they drove on down to the Inland Regional Center, and they killed 14 people and wounded 14 others. Then they took their magical golf cart down the middle of the highway because apparently the police can't spot them. And somebody just so happened to be driving a Yukon Mercedes black SUV in the area and took the heat off them. They're currently on their way to another golf course with better holes. So, here's praying that they don't massacre more people. That's your breaking news tip.
Preparing to accept around 30 hostages who were set to come out of the building at the site. San Bernardino is located about 60 miles east of Los Angeles. Authorities said the shooting took place at the Inland Regional Center, which provides services for people with development disabilities. According to its Facebook page, 670 Inland Regional Center staff members provide services to more than 30,000 people in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. The center's clients range from toddlers to seniors. A woman that manages... We are expecting Paul Ryan to comment in regards to the shooting, and I see him on the screen right now. I'm going to take you there, and then we're going to go back. We'll have both visuals on the screen, but give me 2 seconds.
Of silence now for those who are affected. Please keep the victims and their families in your prayers right now. This is my first time holding and hosting this ceremony, and now I can appreciate everything that went into it. 4,000 miles of travel, 2,000 handmade ornaments, hundreds of essays.
So you just saw Paul Ryan ask for a moment of silence. We're going to go back to the area.
What the fuck was that? Can I get a moment of silence? And he was being quite literal. It was about 2 seconds worth. I don't know how you divvy that up among 28 wounded people. But now he's talking about Christmas ornaments. You know, there we go. Can we have a moment of silence? Okay, good, we're done. Let me talk about Christmas ornaments. My name's Paul Ryan. I'm a giant fucking cunt. And of course, they're off the air. Fox 10, you really need to have somebody talking. The majority of time you're doing streams. The dead silence is a little weird. It's a little bit fucking strange.
To target these employees who are having a festive time, enjoying their holiday luncheon, perhaps, when all this happened. 14 dead is what we've been told. 14 others injured. The Sheriff John McMahon was telling us they're working with San Bernardino. As of 2 p.m., they were still searching the buildings there. The search was still ongoing. And as a precaution, they shut down courts in San Bernardino as well as city and county buildings. Also, schools and hospitals under the very close eye of law enforcement right now.
And 14 people that are shooting victims, but potentially more injuries that are fairly innocuous as people were trying to evacuate and get out of the building.
I've seen some pictures on social media. It looked like some of the patients had their legs wrapped, so it could be injuries to their legs or shot in the leg or that sort of thing.
And of course, as our coverage continues, those numbers could change and likely will change.
Have you noticed how mainstream media at this day and age now uses social media to verify their stories? They're talking about seeing pictures of people injured. You could potentially, I'm not saying to do this, but you could potentially put pictures of, I don't know, fucking war injuries or horrific scenes of violence and tag it San Bernardino and send it to them, and they would talk about it on the air, because that's how it's like a shit show all around. You've got politicians making hollow statements they don't mean. Obama's up there with his fake tears talking about how the 14 dead were just like the sons he never had. You've got Paul Ryan using a fucking nanosecond as a moment of silence before talking about the holiday trees. The police department doesn't know what the fuck's going on. They don't want to look at the tapes. That's too much work. They're going to have you tweet the information to them. And now mainstream media is asking and talking about people on social media and what they're saying. It feels like I'm watching a fucking circus and nobody's in charge. There's no ringleader. There's nobody at center stage saying, hey, idiots, let's do this. It's just kind of a shit show that's unfolding in every direction. And there's no real central theme to it. Nobody's really directing it in any specific manner.
One more time, so he can give us his perspective of what's going on up there. Stu?
Well, the perspective up here is still, it's just an immense situation. The number of law enforcement that it converged on this area this afternoon is breathtaking. You were just looking at some of the SWAT vehicles out here, number of SWAT vehicles, number of different law enforcement agencies. You got San Bernardino Police, you got San Bernardino Sheriffs, you have the police, you have other agencies that are in the area. I heard Fullerton was out here, Fontana, and other law enforcement. Now, this shooting all happened right around 11 o'clock this morning in this building right here.
Wonderful, chat. That's wonderful. I can barely hear the helicopter guy. They've got to fix their audio because there's not a lot going on. Oh, here we go. Social media. I fucking told you. Look at this shit. I told you. Look at right now they're going through it, looking at social media to find pictures to put up. You could put anything in this tag, and these people would put it on national television. That's fucking remarkable to me that I'm watching this transpire live on television, or on their stream of their television. I don't know how Fox has it set up to relay it. I know CBS does. So how does the FBI define terrorism then? Is it not an act of terrorizing as the dictionary suggests? He's referring to the FBI agent earlier that said they don't know if this was an act of terrorism, or if this was a planned event, or what the motivation was behind it. I pray, still praying for the victims plus change, wrote my congressmen, state reps, doing my best to stay informed, encouraging the same, San Bernardino. A lot of people offering prayers in the tag right now, talking about the dead, but there's really no information, again, as to where the fucking suspects are. Fox, dead fucking stream. No talking.
Anything that the viewers might not want to see, but I do want to show you that building right there. That's the main building. This is not where that shooting took place. The shooting took place on the building to the south, which is on the top of the screen right there. Now, the San Bernardino Sheriff's San Bernardino bomb squad, Sheriff's bomb squad, is in between the buildings right there. They did have a suspicious device. We understand that it may have been deactivated or found to, or made to be rendered useless. So, was it a device? Was it something else? That's all going to come out later on. We haven't seen any activity around that building other than the bomb squad, which leads us to believe that that is a very active or very hotbed of a crime scene right now. They don't want to contaminate that area at all. They're waiting for that to be clear, and I'm sure investigators are going to go in there and go through that with a fine-tooth comb, trying to get every bit of detail from what happened in that area. It does seem to be more in the back of the building than in the front. There is a front entrance there, but there was some sort of conference. Somebody was renting that hall, as we understand it, and they were ambushed this afternoon. 14 people lost their lives in there. Another 14 people injured. Not clear if those were all injuries. Those other 14, the injuries, were all from gunshot wounds or maybe people trying to escape in the panic. But nevertheless, heartbreaking to hear. You know, we've been listening also about the reflection of the officers down there on the ground. Their posturing, and it does seem to be a lot more relaxed right now, especially in this.
Which would seem to indicate that they're not in the building. I'm going to guess they're damn near done clearing the facility, and they really don't believe that anybody's still in there, even though there's that one janitor closet up on the top floor, but I'm sure there's nothing in there. So you've got all these assets on the ground. God knows how many fucking SWAT officers. You know, it looks like from the aerial shots we've been seeing all day, 200 fucking cops, 300 cops, FBI as well, ATF, all these armored vehicles, helicopters parked out in fields, fire department, ambulances everywhere. They're all gathered there together while these guys are joyriding around San Bernardino or LA or wherever the fuck they are right now. People now, apparently, CBS was the only one, by the way, that mentioned the convention center. I was watching Fox. I was listening to different outlets, different sources, different streams. CBS LA is the only one that brought up the convention center. So kudos to them for fucking thinking a little bit about what might be going on. But still, as of yet, no information. It's been hours now. There's no information. From gang shootings to school shootings to San Bernardino, this is all domestic terrorism, and we should do more to stop the mayhem. That's from Capriciously. Well, I don't know exactly how would you suggest we stop the mayhem? Capriciously, what would your solution to the issue at hand be? I can guess. I can guess where you're going with that. Breaking, 3 men in military uniform and faces covered with machine guns. Killed faces covered with machine guns. Well, that's a detail I haven't heard about yet, but apparently they were dressed. It wasn't face paint or bandanas they were wearing. They literally covered themselves with machine guns. They were walking. It's like the fucking Death Cube. They were walking in costumes made of fucking AK-47s. Killed 14 and injured 14 more. Sahili Aswaram. That's scary. I've never seen anybody actually dress up as a gun. Maybe it was a Halloween costume they had left over. Middle Eastern males sought in San Bernardino mass shooting at Christmas party. Pamela Geller. Sending my prayers. More senseless violence directed at unarmed innocents. Make them, must make them feel so manly. Why don't we call them terrorists? Well, to Janala, I don't know how the hell you pronounce that. I have no idea who these people were or what their motivation was. This could be a crazed ex-employee that just literally went fucking postal and tore the place apart. It could be some anti-abortionist running around doing this shit inspired by, what was the event 2 days ago where there was an abortion clinic that was shot up? I don't know. Could be fucking ISIS. I mean, we really have no goddamn idea who did anything because they've released no information that would help anybody figure that out. There have been more mass shootings in 2015 than days. So sickening, something needs to change. Now see, that's weird. He's posting the same map we saw earlier, but with red dots instead of blue dots. And when that map was posted earlier with blue dots, it said there were 994 shootings in 1,095 days. So is he extrapolating from that, or are there more statistics? Like, I don't know where he's pulling the number from. Where's this coming from? Not showing me. But I'll take your word for it, Chad Davis. I don't even know what to say. I don't think anybody does. Sending love to San Bernardino. Yes, I know the hashtags are wrong. San Bernardino is San... Okay. Oh, they trended the wrong tag? Is that what the person earlier was referring to when they said, can we fix this? Because you can see worldwide trends right now. San Bernardino is #1. Which means eyes of the world are on San Bernardino, and they're not doing anything to find out who the fuck did this. Or look at that tape. Where is the media getting this 352 number? Please cite a source. Okay, folks, this is not a senseless act of violence. This was an attack on a soft target. Wake up. I wish there were more sources of information on this. Because
aerials, again, they were saying dark-colored SUV. Earlier they were reporting it was a black, and I've lost my aerials, a black Chevy Yukon, and they have... Give me my aerials back, please. A black Chevy Yukon, and there were multiple reports that they have spotted numerous abandoned Chevy Yukons throughout. They saw one in the Pasadena Mall. There have been 3 malls that have been involved so far as they've been looking for these suspects. I know at least one of those malls was evacuated.
That would be from earlier on. Near the start of the stream, somebody had said that the SWAT team was on scene at a certain mall and were coordinating it off. I bet that's the mall she's talking about. So that would mean the suspects actually switched fucking vehicles. This was planned out very well then. If they actually have secondary vehicles at different locations so they can swap out and lose the police, goddamn.
This, know what's going on and stay vigilant. I do want to point out one other thing for people who may have loved ones or friends, family members inside the buildings where this happened and they cannot get in touch with them. The best thing to do is to connect with those folks at the Hernandez.
All right. And I'm just getting word here from one of my coworkers. The FBI has released a statement saying, we do not know if this is a terrorism incident, which is quite frightening. A SWAT vehicle carrying police officers near the scene of the mass shooting. Yeah, we've seen multiple SWAT teams, but there have been 3 malls that have been involved in trying to locate this black Chevy SUV, this Yukon. One of the malls was evacuated. However, I don't think that they have found anything as of yet. There was a false alarm at Pasadena Mall. Police Chief Jared Burgeon tells reporters that the killer walked into the meeting room. It was the conference center at the Inland Regional Center, began shooting and fled quickly. Now, this just says, yes, multiple people. The people were prepared, dressed, and equipped to get away. He said at least 14 people were killed and 14 injured. What's this? Do we have audio here?
Read his lips. Come on, give it a shot.
I'm not hearing anything. So,
Aw.
police said all county buildings in the area were shut down while they were searching for the killer. Witnesses reported shooters with rifles wearing ski masks and military-style vests. Mary Beth Field, a president and CEO of the Inland Regional Center, said the incident took place in a conference area that a county group was renting. She said about 25 employees work in the building that also contains a library. Many of the injured were taken from the building on stretchers and strapped into gurneys. According to the Loma Linda University Medical Center emergency hotline, 4 adult victims of the shooting had arrived at the hospital. They were waiting for 3 more. I have to imagine they've got them now.
It wasn't El Nino, but it's a transportation authority that I sit on, and so we were having a meeting, and that's when I received the call.
Sandbag, of course. And so my question to you is this. A lot of people right now wondering what kind of search might be going on with regard to these suspects. What kind of information do you have at this point?
Well, I have the same information that you have, which is what the chief reported and the sheriff also. They're the ones that are monitoring it. They're making sure that they keep the media apprised. And one of the things that I am appreciative of is how the media has responded so effectively, as you were given instructions by PD to stand down as far as the video that you were providing. I appreciated the way that the media responded. So,
what exactly has been going on with regard to the organization in the city? I know that a lot of buildings have been closed. Those are on the county level. What's been happening in the city of San Bernardino?
City Hall is in lockdown. I've been in touch with some of the other larger facilities.
Actually, thinking about it, the statements made by the police department and now this person on the Transportation Commission make it seem like they suspect that this is related to employment with the state, or at least the county. They're locking down government facilities. They're locking down offices that people working for the state are using. They're not shutting down, let's say, abortion clinics, and they only shut down a mall when they thought the vehicle might be present there. But I think that gives some insight into what they suspect is the motivation of what's going on. So somebody earlier had said $81 million cut from the budget. It was a state-planned event, or it was held by a certain department of the state, the health department. This could be a rogue ex-employee. This could be a group of employees, which I don't think I've ever heard of before. I don't think I've ever heard of a group of former employees banding together to go on a killing spree. That might be a first for America. It might be first for the world. I've never really seen that. But I think it gives some insight into at least what the police suspect is going on.
You heard earlier, he will continue to report every hour.
This thought of terrorism, though, it is not out of the back of people's minds.
Absolutely it isn't, but we don't know at this time. It's certainly speculative, but they're certainly going to be investigating this to the fullest extent possible to try to determine the source of it.
All right, Mayor, thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. So some up there from the mayor, yes. Mayor, our anchor would like to ask you one quick question, our anchorman, Jeff Michael, and what's that question? Jeff?
Apparently, Jeff doesn't give a shit about you. That's the mayor. I didn't know that. Jeff has no questions for you. Mayor, could you stand in front of our camera and look like a dipshit for 5 minutes while nobody talks to you? Thank you.
Comment that this could go on for several days, and he's wondering if you have information with regard to the suspects, anything that might take us to several days. What is sort of the context behind that statement, that this could be several days?
That's just in reference to how this is an event that is probably going to have a certain amount of media attention. It's going to certainly have a lot of community interest to make sure that they understand what we're doing to make sure that we secure the city.
At this point, do you know anything about these suspects at all? We can't seem to get a description. We can't get an ID on the car.
I know no more than you know. I know the same thing that you heard the chief say.
Fantastic. So no more new information. But yeah, that was Jeff's opportunity to talk to the mayor on national television, and he was taking a piss break. He couldn't hold it in, so he's like, "Fuck it, it's just the mayor." During a breaking news story, my name is Jeff.
What were they wearing? The SUV, what is that all about? And again, information very hard to come by, and we'll continue to drill down on it and see what we can find out.
Jesus, Jeff won't even respond to his anchors in the field. Holy shit, how big of a piss did he need to take?
All right, looks like we have another angle. Oh, they cut us right off there, huh?
I don't think that's
over, take another
what you want there,
honey. Okay, so now what we're looking at, I believe, is the podium for the upcoming press conferences.
Okay, so they're just going to go back and do another press conference. Let's see if CBS has any breaking information.
14 others injured, and hundreds of people right now being held and waiting to be interviewed by the authorities.
Oh, breaking news. Governor Brown's office says he's been briefed. He's monitoring the situation. He's anxiously reading Twitter to see if any of the detective citizens out there can help his police department do their fucking job. Somebody said, check Twitter. Let's see if there's any information. Media given instructions by PD, shocking. Yeah, I caught that too. They were given instructions, meaning they probably, again, have more information that they're, releasing right now. Still, though, some of those reporters did press some good questions. What was the convention hall for? What weapons were they using? What vehicle did they flee in? The normal shit you would think people would ask. And again, the police department, no answers. Obviously, the person leading the investigation in San Bernardino. Well, that actually makes a lot of sense. That would explain what we're seeing. San Bernardino shooting, another example of y'all chickens coming home to roost. But let me stay focused on Black Lives Matter. Well, fantastic. Replace the dicks with machine guns. This is a picture of the suspect. I think that would be an accurate portrayal of what we read. These would all be these are loaded weapons. This was, I would love to see the surveillance tape on a gentleman wearing this going into a mass killing spree. It would be memorable. So sad what happened in San Bernardino, but we must remember that jet fuel can't melt steel beams. That is very true. Hopefully Fox will comment on that once more, because they have before. Praise for Cheez-Its, or pray for Cheez-Its. If the suspects are black, we all know the only man who can hunt them down. Sam Hyde once again. I think he's busy in Minnesota decimating the Justice for Jamar protest. From what I understand, he led the other Klansmen in the attack. FBI Los Angeles says they are not sure if San Bernardino is a terrorist attack. That probably means white people are the main suspects. There have been at least 352 mass shootings in the 336 days of 2015. And you have a population of how many? Again, in the United States, 300 million plus? And you've only had 336 mass shootings out of 325 million people. 336 instances of, that population going crazy and going on a mass shooting spree. With the amount of guns that are out there. But you're trying to convince me that gun ownership is the root core of the problem and not crazy fucking individuals that are out there doing bizarre fucking bonkers shit, like wearing suits made out of AK-47s when they go on a killing spree, or not getting that birdie on hole 7 and deciding they're just gonna fucking go gun down the inland community center. Dear trigger happy killer wannabes, just go fucking kill yourselves instead of innocent people for a change, assholes. How long before mainstream media admits that the 3 men in the SUV are a coordinated attack wearing protective vest masks and terrorism, not some loner? Well, Mission Girl, as people pointed out earlier, apparently the media have been instructed not to address certain things, or they've been given specific directions from the mayor or from other individuals in the government, local government, not to say certain things. They admitted that. We saw that on stream. So I don't think they're going to tell you anything at this point. When is it ever going to be enough? Apparently never. I really can't deal today, hoping nothing more tragic comes from this, and those involved are caught quickly. Well, Lazaro Suarez, I would hope they got caught quickly too. But with the San Bernardino Police Department on the case, I'm not holding out much fucking hope for that happening. Oh, do we have more live feed here?
I don't know what
Apparently not. Anything on CBS?
Individuals' names, and then they put us in here so that we're safe. And then, of course, an hour and a half later, they, with the police truck, they came in, they escorted them into the car and moved them into another building, apparently a bulletproof building. And I just got word from her. She just texted me and said there's a bomb threat.
Yeah, I'm on the phone too. This is Patrick, her dad, and she texted me. I talked to her on the phone about an hour and a half ago. She was talking very quietly and said she could not. I asked her, I'm like, where are you? She said she couldn't reveal her location, that they were in a safe room and that she was safe, but she was very scared, and she heard that 12 people were killed, and that was all she could tell me.
And she's listening, she's hearing all this information because they have access to the police scanner outside where they can hear the information.
Patrick and Paul, thanks for talking to us. As parents, can you tell us what you went through when you got this text? I mean, that.
So that's the testimony of parents, apparently, of the employees that were at the location the shooting took place. that individual's daughter was in a safe room or a bulletproof room or some kind of fallback in the actual structure itself where they were protected. Somebody should forward this clip to Jeff over at Fox 10 so he can see how to do his fucking job. Still can't believe you let the mayor stand there like an idiot with his thumb up his ass, and then let your anchor in the field, your reporter in the field, stand there because you were taking a piss. Really good job, buddy.
Burgeon tells reporters that the killers walked into the meeting room at the Inland Regional Center, began shooting, and fled quickly. The people were prepared, dressed, and equipped to get away, he said. He said at least 14 people were killed and 14 injured, but that those figures could change. Police at all county buildings in the area were shut down while they searched for the killers. In addition, they've also shut down schools. Witnesses reported shooters with rifles wearing ski masks and military-style vests. Ah, the screen is so frozen. So I'm going to take you out of it. Mary Beth Field, president and CEO of the Inland Regional Center, said the incident took place in a conference area that a county group was renting. She said about 25 employees work in the building that also contains a library. Many of the injured were taken from the building on stretchers and strapped into...
Okay, they're just going over previous details now. I think the important thing to do right now... Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold I'm getting over at the moment. I think the important thing right now is to ask the question I think most of America wants asked. Dear Fox News, when are you airdropping Leland in? We need answers, and there's only one man that can do it. Hopefully they'll get him on scene. They can have Geraldo provide security for him, and he can get the answers we need, because Jeff sure as shit isn't doing it. He's still taking that piss.
But we are anticipating a press conference to happen in about 13 minutes. Terry Petit said he got a text from his daughter saying she was hiding after gunfire erupted at the social services facility where she works. Petit choked back tears as he read the text for reporters outside the center. He said she wrote, "People shot in the office waiting for cops. Pray for us. I am locked in an office." San Bernardino police radio reports said SWAT teams were on the scene and that officers were preparing to accept around 30 hostages who were set to come out of the building of the site, although that doesn't really make sense now. And during the last press conference, the officer said, oh, here I have some, let's take a look at these live visuals.
I love the team at Fox News. Fox 10 in Phoenix, by the way, is phenomenal. Jeff never is there. He's always like wandering off stage. I don't know what he's doing exactly. Maybe checking his Instagram. Then you have this chick who actually is there and talks, but can't seem to operate the computer system. So their streams are just always an amalgamation of technical errors and hiccups, and it's always fun to watch.
What we know, upwards of 14 people dead, upwards of 14 people wounded, gunshot wounds, and other injuries associated with trying to escape gunfire. Witnesses say as many as 3 gunmen entered a conference room at the Inland Regional Center and opened fire with long guns. All casualties confined to that area. San Bernardino City Police Chief Jared Burgeon, they came prepared to do what they did as if they were on a mission.
Well, Chad is speculating that Jeff is currently masturbating in the bathroom, and that's why he can't be confirmed. If somebody could message Fox 10 in Phoenix right now and see if they can check on Jeff, if maybe he needs some baby wipes to clean up. Maybe he's embarrassed. He's got some stains on his pants. And he can't make it right now to the live broadcast on the fucking shooter situation currently unfolding in San Bernardino, California. Farouk Saheed is a suspect's name in San Bernardino mass shooting via Pamela Geller. Well, apparently Pamela Geller is quite certain that Farouk Saheed is involved in the shooting. The GOP blocked House debate yesterday on a bill to stop suspected terrorists from buying guns. Yeah, and Obama, if we're going to talk about suspected terrorists buying guns, Obama is the one that wants to bring in 10,000. I've heard other speculative numbers higher than that of Syrian immigrants into America and to override governors' decisions not to allow them in. So if you're worrying about terrorists buying guns, maybe not have them in the country in the first place would be a good starting point before bringing up the gun debate. Baby steps, right, before we get there. And now San Bernardino, pray, when will these shootings end? I suspect is what she was asking. While we're at it, this domestic terrorism, don't beat around the bush, media. The makeup of the attackers doesn't matter. I think it does in this instance. I have no idea why they would target this place. Nobody can give me a good answer as to what the fuck is going on. Why would you target a facility dedicated to helping the mentally handicapped? I can't come up with a good answer. It has to be related to the state having a party there, an ex-employee, something. There's something going on. There's some connection going on. You would hope the police can figure that out quickly, so these people don't end up killing more. Did ISIS America just hit San Bernardino since the shooter's name is Farouk? We will be instructed not to jump to conclusions. This appears to be a hashtag, so let's see what's being talked about. Police scanner in San Bernardino says one of the 2 or 3 shooters was possibly named Farouk Saheed. And they're listening to the feed that everybody else is passing around for the police scanner in San Bernardino. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Sounds Norwegian, not Farouk Saheed. Again, there's no official report on the suspects' names or nationalities or identities. This is just people reporting this is what they're hearing on the police scanner. Heads up, dead people and their families don't want your fucking prayers. Sensible gun laws now. Well, a fedora tip to you, my friend. A fedora tip to you. Stop praying. Stop weeping over the dead. Don't you understand? I have a political agenda that I need to... How about you just let them grieve? Then you can go shove your shit up their ass later. More guns is the answer, but only if the question is, what's the worst idea to solve America's issue with mass shootings? Was that? No, that's Chris Rocky, not Chris Rock. Farouk Saheed is a suspect's name. Again, that's going around. This world is messed up. This world is messed up. Syria vote, San Bernardino. Just noticed it's San Bernardino, not San Bernardino. Okay, I haven't even really paid attention to how the fucking tag is being spelled. Oh, okay. They did spell it wrong. That's remarkable. Maybe the problem with America isn't the guns. Maybe the problem with America is the fact that our populace is so fucking retarded that when a mass shooting happens and they start a hashtag to talk about it, they misspell the name of the fucking city that the shooting happened in, and then make it a worldwide fucking trend to talk about. Maybe that's an issue that should be addressed. Maybe this is a call to really look at some reforms in our public education system. Holy shit. God bless everyone that was hurt in San Bernardino. Okay, I'm going to try to find a live feed. Oh, we got somebody going live here. But I'm not hearing any. Oh.
Devastating. It's hurtful. It's sad because of the other issues that our city is facing. And the real thing about this, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for this kind of incident to happen in the place where it happened with people who are only helping other people. And our city is still trying to get its head wrapped around how could this kind of thing take place in a place where it's just set up to serve, set up to meet those in our community who are physically challenged and who need this kind of support, and then to make what's supposed to be a safe place now feel like an unsafe place. It's really a tragedy for us. It's heartbreaking. It's devastating. I was talking to one of our council members just inside the community center, and we were just expressing just how much this hurts us in terms of what we've been trying to do corporately as a community to bring our city.
Well, there you go. Pastor Joshua Beckley of the Ecclesia Christian Fellowship asking for more money for Dem programs. And somebody in chat saying, Jim, you need to shut the fuck up. You spelled the stream title wrong. How can you criticize people spelling the hashtag wrong? And let's check the actual spelling of this fucking bullshit. San Bernardino. Did they spell their fucking... What is the proper spelling on this? Why does everybody have a different goddamn spelling on this? San Bernardino. Okay. I'm going to say I got it right. I don't know anymore. Your Berenstain universe is fucking with my head. It's like the spelling changes every other goddamn minute. San Bernardino, open carry all the way. The shooters are the problem, not the guns. I would agree. The shooters and their motivation are what the issue is. CBS Los Angeles, anyone with info on the shooting incident in San Bernardino who would like to remain anonymous, this is a bad idea, CBS Los Angeles, can call us at WeTip. That's 1-800-78-CRIME. So if you want to give them anonymous information on the shooter, is that CBS as in the station is asking for it, or is that the county sheriff? That looks like it's the county sheriff asking for that information. They are actually on Twitter begging people to do their job for them. Are you fucking seeing this? The county sheriff is holy shit. Look at the tape. That's my tip. 1-800-78-CRIME. Look at the fucking tapes you have on site. That should tell you who they are and where they went. When capitalism fails, it fails on the scale of San Bernardino? What am I reading? What argument are these two people having? So sad to hear about the shooting in San Bernardino. What the hell is wrong with people? When capitalism fails, it fails on the scale of San Bernardino. Okay. Identified suspect works at the center, was acting strange immediately before the shooting. Farouk Saheed. Again, that name getting passed around. Our thoughts and deepest condolences go out to the family and friends. Again, everyone sending prayers to the people involved. More mash. Okay, we have Ryan. I don't know who this is. Ryan Kath is an Emmy Murrow DuPont winning investigative reporter at CBS Boston. More mass shootings. 4 more people shot in days in 2015. Most recent in Boston was Thanksgiving. So again, this is the tag is already being politicized. Instead of focusing on the manhunt of where these fucking people are, everybody wants to get their political points in. That's brilliant. They're going to go shoot something else. I already have a feeling that's going to happen. There's going to be another standoff and another shooting. And these idiots are going to be arguing. One person's praying, the other's tipping their fedora. You got a conservative arguing with a liberal. Use the fucking tag to hunt these people down. Then you can bitch about your politics. Hold your loved ones a little closer tonight. My thoughts are with my West Coast friends and fellow Americans. I think they said earlier the next press conference is coming out. If they're doing one on the hour, every hour, that means in 3 more minutes they're going to be live. So we'll just wait for that to happen. Go full screen here.
All right, I'm going to temporarily mute this scene while we wait for someone to take the mic. We are awaiting a press conference to take place any minute now. Thanks so much for your patience. If you want to cut over to live aerials for a second so you can get a...
Somebody in chat said they heard the shooter's name was Tim McVeigh Jr. Well, that's breaking news. Apparently he's trying to outdo his father's high score. While we wait, I'll chat if you have any questions or you want to say anything. Now would be the time while we wait for the press conference to come up. Jim, check Twitter. I've already checked Twitter. And that's an interesting username because I don't know how you want me to pronounce that. Mute yourself. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to mute myself. The pros are back. Chat is FoxChan what? Did these people just not know how to run a news channel? You would be amazed at what goes on Fox and the other channels. Check Twitter, you fuck. I'm not going to check Twitter. I'm waiting for the news conference to start. I'll check Twitter later. It's a white Muslim, somebody is saying. That would be interesting. Shooter's name was Mr. Metokur. Breaking news for everybody out there. Is Sam Hyde behind this? I believe he is. Again, it's a Klansman, it's a group from Reddit that we all know about, that are comprised of Sam Hyde, Moon Man. I believe George Zimmerman is part of their group now. They made him an honorary white man. And they're just wreaking havoc across the country. It's terrible. Scanner said government building had officer down. I would suspect if that's the case, we're going to hear it breaking through on Fox or CBS, since they're all on site at the moment. Does the fire rise? It's going to if these cops don't catch these fucking people, because God knows what they're going to do next. They're talking about improvised explosive devices and, suspicious items on a golf course and near the government building. I don't know what these people are thinking right now, but they have to know the police are looking for them. And they're already involved in a mass shooting, so my guess is they're going to do something else. Triple K confirmed? Yes. The Klansmen are rolling through California, apparently. After getting done with justice for Jamar, they've shown up in California. Here we go with the news. Reading tweets from Sheriff Joe Arpaio. My condolences to the victims in San Bernardino shooting. I requested 3 days ago all armed citizens take action in situations like this. Let's see when she's reading these off.
Run, hide, or shoot. I say shoot in regards to this incident. Sheriff Joe told our own Troy Hayden here at Fox 10, you can run, hide, or shoot. I say shoot. Let me see if I can pull up what Jonathan Hunt's saying.
Right now, and the bold truth is this: at least 3 shooters went into that inland regional center, killed at least 14, injured at least 14 more, and then disappeared into thin air. If the San Bernardino Police Department and other law enforcement agencies are telling us all they know, then they simply don't know very much. And most importantly of all, they don't know where these shooters are. There are reports that they fled the scene in what is being termed by police a dark SUV. Did that go north on the 15 freeway towards Las Vegas? Did it go east on the 10 freeway towards Phoenix? Have they made use of the nearby Ontario airport? All the answers to those questions are that the police at this stage do not seem to have any idea. As for the motive here, this was an inland regional center that was used to help people with educational and developmental disabilities, but there was a separate conference room in Building 3 of that campus. That conference room, we are told, was rented out today to an outside group that may have been staging a holiday party for county personnel. What department of the county were those personnel from? Again, we are not clear. There have been reports they were from the health department, but county personnel could cover anything, obviously, from law enforcement to health to social services, pretty much anything. So we know very little at this stage, except that there has been carnage here in San Bernardino. As I say, at least 14 killed, at least 14 injured. They are, for the majority, at 2 nearby medical centers, Arrowhead Medical Center and Loma Linda. There has been a heavy police presence at Loma Linda in particular, but that may be to do simply with interviewing some of those survivors. We have also seen from our location right here, Brett, 4 to 5 school buses loaded with people who came from in or around the regional center where the shooting took place. They have been taken, as we understand it, to a nearby church. They are being interviewed as witnesses by law enforcement there. We know from some of those who have spoken publicly that they say there were at least 3 shooters. They were all dressed in black. They were wearing masks. Beyond that, we have no more description of them, and as I have said, we have no idea of the motive at this point. Brett.
Jonathan Hunt there on the scene. We are in desperate need for...
Well, fuck. Somebody give Jonathan Hunt a goddamn raise, because he summed it up better than any other fucking reporter out there. And he also happened to point out just how terrible the police have been at releasing information or having any clue as to what's going on. But that confirms it. So there are 3 individuals. They were dressed up in armor. They were all wearing all black with black masks on. As for the long guns, we can speculate as to what those are. People are saying AK-47s. Who fucking knows? But the information is minimal. This is, how many hours has this been, chat? I'd say since the shooting occurred, it's got to be at least 3 to 4 hours. And they still don't know anything beyond that. And they're actually asking people on social media to do their job for them. You figure these people left the scene 2.5 hours ago. They could be in Mexico by now. They could be fucking anywhere by now, in another goddamn state by this point. They could be swimming across the fucking ocean for all we know. The cops sure don't have a clue as to what the hell's going on. So this will be a great press conference. They'll come out again and tell everybody they have no idea what's happening. Well, while we have a minute, I'll go check Twitter, since people in chat were saying to do that. Police scanner reports this man, pick-related, was spotted on scene with 2 long guns. Those are very long guns. Somebody should ask the cop at the fucking press conference if he can speculate as to how long the long guns are in inches. Could you give me a measurement? Are we talking really long guns? Is it a yard long, officer? Would you tell me that it's a 3-foot long gun? How long is that long gun? Can the ATF speculate on it? Clan in 30 minutes, fam. Fuck Jim. Seems like Gurr doesn't even ant me to know about this. They won't allow me to write in chat. What the fuck? You can't write in chat right now? My chat's open to everybody. Unless you're talking about Fox 10. If Fox 10 had an open chat, I wouldn't be streaming right now. We could all be watching Fox 10, but for some reason, they disable chat. I don't understand that. Look at this. Fox 10, you have 4,300 people watching your stream right now. That's pretty impressive for a channel this small. You could have an open chat right now. People would fucking love it. You'd get all these people coming in, but you don't do it. I guess they're still really hesitant after they got their shit fucking wrecked by chat that got them to talk about Ben Garrison on the air. I think that I know people in that studio thought that was funny. You could hear them laughing later on in relation to, they actually played the video. They watched the video making fun of them while they were doing another news story, and you could hear it in the background. So I know they think it's funny, but I think they're nervous about letting people chat now because they don't want to get fucking fooled on air again. They thought it was a drill. We don't know enough about the San Bernardino shooters yet. If they're white, the solution is gun control. Okay. Well, there you go. Everyone, please pray for Jeff. It is so cold, things are freezing in San Bernardino. Take a look at this man. Video released, San Bernardino. I don't know what video this is.
I know. Food supply has gone down. I have no more water. I haven't had ass in 3 days.
Well, this gentleman hasn't had, as he said, ass in 3 days. It's a long time to go without any ass. Well, there's a video. I'm going to check back to see if the press conference still not going. Reports that the notorious racist Shizo Jace Connors is behind the shootings. Well, God help San Bernardino. If Jace Connors, Sam Hyde, Moonman, Ben Garrison, and George Zimmerman all arrive on scene, it's going to be a fucking Holocaust in California. A fucking Holocaust. Check poll. Does poll have new information? I was looking at a thread earlier, and I'm probably 100 fucking threads behind at this point. Because every time there's a happening, shit goes by so quickly it's impossible to catch up. This pretty much confirms black, Muslim, non-white. This fucking confirms it. 4 hours into the shooting, absolutely zero information. The great NSA, FBI, CIA have nothing. I don't think, yeah, there's still, people are posting the link to the police scanner. Still a press conference not starting. Let's take a look at their misspelled hashtag to see if there's any new information. God, do you think that's what happened? Holy shit, do you think somebody right now is actually using the proper spelling of San Bernardino and has the information on the suspects? God, wouldn't that would be funny in a cosmic sort of way. Like, hey, I just saw them. I can tell you what their names are, what they look like, and where they are right now, but he's spelling San Bernardino properly, and nobody's looking at that. They're looking at the misspelled hashtag that's been trended worldwide by idiots. Oh, the sweet fucking irony, really. Breaking police pursuit in San Bernardino of SUV unknown if related to shooting. News source LA. Freelance media covering Los Angeles, locals, multiple stations. That could be related. I don't know if it was a black SUV.
This puzzle.
That's right.
Or hear something.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why there's a...
And still we've got nothing going on. Let's see what CBS has to say.
Who were running for their lives and hiding throughout this siege, and they are being ferried probably to one of those locations that the authorities were telling us where they would be staging and being interviewed. Now, as we indicated, and as the law enforcement told us, they'd be speaking to us at the top of every hour. We're waiting for...
Yeah, the police are behind schedule. They were going to talk to the media. So maybe that police chase is related. What the fuck is wrong with people? Now it's okay to shoot up mentally and physically disabled people. I'm beyond sick. I will admit, Chase Folsom, that it is fucking bizarre that they would choose this location of all locations to shoot. I think it was a secondary target. I think they were going after the convention center, and once they were all the way okay. Some technical issues there. Should be back up. Sorry about that. My stream died out on me. I think they're onto me, guys. I think they're onto me. The San Bernardino Police Department's a little ass hurt. We've got a live chase going on, by the way.
Whoa.
Oh, fuck. Somebody got shot. Check that out.
Discretion is advised.
Officers with long guns here, all pointing down, eastbound down this street, which we'll get for a second. Again, a black SUV, uncertain if this is the suspect. You can see tactical teams moving up the sidewalk, looking for positions of advantage right now. Again, the suspect is down. They don't know if additional suspects are in that car. That's where you see those tactical teams moving eastbound, and we're going to come over here, moving eastbound up the sidewalk, trying to find a position of advantage. We're going to come back out. That scene that we showed you earlier, again, that might have been the scene where we have, again, not confirmed right now, but there is a possible officer injured that has not been confirmed. We saw several officers standing over that downed person who looked as if they were wearing a bulletproof vest down there. But you can see that black SUV, and just to the driver's side, on the north side of that street, there is a suspect down. It looks right next to him, looks like to be, I don't want to get too close because that is a gory scene, looks to be like there might be a long rifle down near his feet. Again, I don't want to get too close, but they're trying to get to to call out any additional suspects. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the long way. I'm going to go in tight, and I'm going to go around the long way so we don't show that suspect down. You can see officers backing off. Going to try to get to the car around the long way here. I'm going to double up. You can see here, that is a dark SUV. You can look at all the bullet holes in the windshield. The left side, driver's side, completely blown out. This was a very, very graphic shootout here. All the windows in this SUV completely shot out. We do not see any additional suspects in there. We saw the tactical teams running back west.
You see the windshield wipers still working? That's a hell of a made vehicle. That's some quality control.
Position of cover and concealment right now, which there's not a lot of. Those bushes do not stop bullets. They're trying to find positions of advantage. Trying to see if we've got an additional suspect off the right side of the vehicle. They are focusing solely on that vehicle right now. The suspect, they can be pretty assured, is downed off in the middle of the street. He is down, and he is not moving, more than likely deceased. Right now, waiting additional activity in this vehicle, but all sorts of pandemonium. And I think that original scene David and Colleen was showing you might have been the situation where that original shootout occurred, and unfortunately it may have been an officer down. Again, not confirmed, just the reports right now that an officer possibly was down in that parking lot. And that's what it kind of looked like. You saw that there was a wreck in the street. You saw all sorts of debris, 2 or 3 vehicles hit, multiple.
I love that 4 guys are hiding behind one pole, and they're doing it at a weird angle. And then you got like 8 guys behind the bush. And the news reporter earlier, and just so you know, bushes aren't bulletproof. Thank you, Fox 10. I didn't know that.
Feet is down there, and I'm going to pull out wide again. I'm going to try to stay wide again. It's a very gruesome scene. I don't want to show it, but you can see here. Go ahead, David. That's correct. Yes. Right? That is an yes. That's what we believe right now. I haven't been able to zoom in. We got a little too close there, and again, a graphic scene. But that is an east-west major. We don't have the name of that street now. We're trying to confirm it right now. But that is a dark SUV. It almost looks dark brown, not black. But that spot you see on the north curb line. The north curb line, you see, just in front of that white police vehicle. You can see a dark spot on the left side. That is the suspect, and what's coming away from the suspect appears to be blood. Down near his feet, just to the right side of that dark spot, there is what appears to be a long rifle sitting in the street. Again, could be coincidental. There's no confirmation that this is the suspect from the IRC, but
it could be coincidental. You know, somebody just decided, hey, this looks like an interesting news story. Let me go out into the street with my long rifle and have a shootout with cops behind bulletproof bushes. It's a complete coincidence.
That SUV trying to get deployed. We're going to double up, get a little closer, and try to get back to the SUV without showing the suspect. More officers using concealment and cover behind this post, behind this hedge line, trying to prone out or call out any additional suspects that are in here. We're trying to get a look inside that vehicle. It's hard to tell if there's any additional suspects, but I can tell you there is not a window in this vehicle that has not been shot out, other than the windshield, which is still intact with many, many bullet holes in it. This was a fierce gun battle. A fierce gun battle. And right now they are trying to figure out whether there's an additional suspect. Sooner or later, they're going to have officers come up and deploy, probably get some of that armament back at the IRC over here, that Bearcat or that TAC Cat, use that to come up to that vehicle so they can use it as cover and concealment to see if there's any additional.
How embarrassing for the San Bernardino police force if this turns out to be another Dorner-like incident, where it's just like two Mexican women going to get groceries, and they fucking lit it up. Look at the amount of destruction on this thing. Still impressed those windshield wipers are working. Fucking bullet holes in the windshield, all the side passenger windows blown out, back windows blown out, fucking tires shot to shit. Fucking bullets peppered all over the area. You got a guy down in front of the squad car, 13 guys hiding behind those bulletproof bushes.
All right, keep in mind that we've been told we are looking for 3 suspects. We saw one deceased. It appeared that the suspect was deceased in a pool of blood on the side of the road near the SUV that has been totally destroyed with gunshots. And we have, keep in mind, all day long we've been searching for 3 suspects. So the cops that have taken cover on the right side of the screen are likely trying to determine
David,
whether there are any other
right
suspects
now,
within
and,
that vehicle.
We are about 2 to 3 miles to the northeast. You can see that Bearcat. I don't want to go in too tight, but you can see that armament we were just talking about, that tactical armament.
Did they bring in the fucking Marines? What am I looking at here? Look at that vehicle.
2 miles to the east-northeast of the original IRC. Now, directly east of here, about a mile or 2 due north, is where what we are hearing is a possible officer-involved shooting with a possible, again, unconfirmed, a possible officer down. Right now, you can see the tactical teams. They're doing 2 things here, David and Colleen. They're making sure that suspect is. We're going to slide right a little bit. I'm going to try to get this tree to actually cover up. We're going to slide right to cover up. Now, right now, this is a dangerous situation, David. We're going to pull out a little bit. This is what's called a crossfire situation, right? We've got tactical teams, multiple agencies, one on the east, one on the west. They want to get all these officers here. You can see them all running, trying to get behind, out of the way, so there is not a crossfire situation. They're going to move their way to the north side of the street. This is a crossfire, but they brought them in as quickly as they can. What the angle is right now, they've got a perfect angle to the south, but to the east, to that suspect vehicle. Okay, right now I've covered up as best we can what we believe to the suspect's body with a tree, and we're going to try to lock it down here. My pilot, Jason, doing an amazing job. So we're going to too graphic, but you can see the
Absolutely.
That's Jeff's cousin, by the way, fucking up the microphones.
This one's there might be an officer down.
Sergeant, are you going to be doing this one?
Yes.
Okay, I will.
This is Scanner. Don't report it.
This is a Scanner. Don't report it on live national television. Thank you, Jeff's cousin.
And engage if they need to. Carl, Steve, stand by for first
You guys ready?
No, that's we're hoping to get all that right now.
Okay, my name is Vicky Cervantes. I'm a sergeant with the San Bernardino Police Department.
Can you step up, please? You got to step way close. Thank you.
How's that? Okay, my name is Vicky Cervantes. I'm a sergeant with the San Bernardino Police Department. Just an update for you. The number of wounded has increased to 17 at this point. The number of fatalities has remained at 14. We have a telephone number that we would like to provide for people that want to be united with their family that was possibly at the Inland Regional Center today. And that telephone number is 800-637-6653. We are asking that anybody that has family that was at this facility call this telephone number first, and the person will advise you where you need to go in order to talk to somebody, get reunited with your families.
Sergeant, you've got an ongoing tactical situation up the road here with a suspect down and officers possibly down. What do you know about that?
I did hear the radio traffic on that. There is an active scene. I believe there may be a suspect down. It's my understanding that the officer is okay, and I don't have many updates on that.
Bitch, are you kidding me? It's up the street from you. Stand on the guy behind you. Stand on his shoulders, for fuck's sake, and you can see it over the fucking bushes. Scott Melkinson's mother is up on here, lisping her way through the fucking press conference, and doesn't have any information about the goddamn fucking shootout up the street.
And only one suspect.
I only know of one. That doesn't mean that there aren't more at this point.
And how far away is that from here?
Probably a couple miles from here.
So, Sergeant, please repeat once again. There is an active scene related possibly to this mass shooting earlier. What is going on?
The only thing I know is there were shots fired. Officers were involved, and there is a suspect down. Whether it's related or not, we don't know yet. We will update you, as we told you. We will update you on the hour.
They're doing a fucking press conference, and there are dead bodies in the street. It's 4 blocks away. It's up the street from you. What do you mean you don't know? You don't have the info. Currently, what the fuck? This is, you know what? Please tell me CBS is doing real fucking news right now. Thank you, CBS.
How many people are hospitalized as far as you know, and what generally, if you can tell us what their conditions are? Are there any gravely critical?
I've heard that they range from minor injuries that occurred while falling down trying to escape, and they go up as high as gunshot wounds. So I don't know their status.
Why did the number go up 3 this hour? Were these 3 people that were found in the building hiding? Where did these 3 come from?
I don't know. It was just an update that the fire department provided us. Okay, we'll be back at 4 o'clock. Is that correct? I don't know. We will be back at 4 o'clock.
That's as loud as CBS goes, guys.
Media coverage will be here at this location.
Thank you.
Now, we are watching this live picture. What you're seeing there on the uppermost part of the screen are 2 police armored vehicles that have blocked the front and the rear of a dark SUV. Several windows in the SUV have been broken, perhaps by gunfire. We just heard from...
Is this, anybody know police procedures? Is this the tactical solution to this situation? You gangbang the suspects' vehicles with your armored cars? Looks like a porno shoot in the middle of the fucking street. One up its ass, one down the front. You got these guys over here taking pictures.
14 of them killed, 17 wounded, many in critical condition. Police received information from witnesses that 3 gunmen escaped in a dark SUV. Then the next thing we knew was that there was gunfire at this location, apparently gunfire by the officers. 1 suspect is down. We don't know what might have happened to the others. The officers are lined up behind their armored cars, obviously approaching this very carefully, which suggests there might be someone left in the vehicle. But we have not seen any movement inside the vehicle, best we can tell. This is a live picture from our helicopter. Just watching these events unfold.
What the fuck was that? He backed up 10 feet and then gently rammed it down its throat. What am I watching? I don't know if the guy over here is blocked by the tree. The news it refuses to let us see the body in the street. So I don't know if that's a suspect or if that's possibly an officer down. Miss Melkinson earlier didn't lisp her way into the answer on that. Looks like they're bringing in canines right now.
Style assault rifles, multiple extra magazines that attacked this holiday party. At least 14 people are dead. Many others were shot. 17 people are injured. Some of them were injured escaping, so we don't know precisely how many were shot. But we do know police have reported at this moment 14 dead, some others in critical condition in the hospital. Is this the suspect or suspects? We don't know. The police have told us in the last few minutes that no officers are seriously injured in this. You can see a number of police officers surrounding the vehicle. Vehicle matches the rather broad description that was given. Police did not have a very good description of the gunman. One witness told us that the gunmen, there were 3, she said, were dressed in black, carrying assault rifles, extra magazines, but she could not see their faces and could not tell their race. As we continue to watch this scene unfold live, let's go to Jeff Pegues in our Washington newsroom. Jeff, what do you hear?
Well, Scott, investigators have had a name to go on as they try to track down the people responsible for the shooting. There was one name. They have not revealed that name, but we know that there is a name floating around law enforcement circles, and so that has helped as they have tried to track down the suspects. Of course, as you've mentioned, there is this scene now. There were shots fired, a suspect down, possibly related to this shooting. Scott?
Jeff Pegues in Washington, thank you very much. Now, do not go away. We are not going to leave this coverage, but we are going to pause for just a moment to begin the CBS Evening News, and then we will start this coverage again.
Okay. You see the difference, by the way, between CBS over here and Fox on this one? CBS has one picture with one audio source and shows you what's going on. Fox puts picture and picture and picture over picture while the news host goes and masturbates in the fucking bathroom.
Was anybody over this when we were over it? Good job on this, dude. Nice job. Amazing.
Way to go, bro. Way to get those corpses on camera. Oh, shit, am I on television? Oops. Jeff, what are you doing? Jeff, are you trying to get fired? What was that? At least this has a better picture quality. Yeah, so they've got the vehicle surrounded. They're hesitant to approach it. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Fox doesn't know what it's doing right now. Play a little audio, don't play some audio. Play a little audio, don't play some audio. I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing. Look at how, yeah, they're fucking geared up. They're ready to go. That dog is behind the vehicle over here. I don't know what they're waiting for. They can clearly see into the vehicle from where they are. I'm going to guess whoever's in there is dead. I would be amazed if somebody survived that many fucking gunshots through that vehicle. People in chat asking for the van to explode. Sadly, it will not do that. It's not a 4chan van. So I don't think there's going to be an explosion in the middle of the street. But SWAT's surrounding it. They're fucking ready to go. We'll see if CBS has...
All right, and I'm looking back through our footage to try to bring you that zoomed-in photo of the suspect. So give me 2 seconds. I'm looking...
Holy shit, I will love this chick forever if she shows us the body in the street. Oh my god. You've got 9,000 people watching your stream right now. Do it. Fucking show us the body. She's going to go through the record and show us a zoomed-in photo. Oh, how can you not like Fox 10 and Phoenix? Doing what nobody else will do. Now, you deserve your 9,200 views. Oh, CBS has a better angle, though.
You can see that vehicle right there.
All right, disclaimer before I take this. Discretion is advised. I found the frozen... I found a screen grab of when we brought you a picture of the suspect earlier. So please, discretion is advised. If you don't want to see it, don't look away for 2 seconds. I'll tell you when you can look back at the screen. But here's a screen grab of this supposed suspect on the side of the street across from that SUV.
What the fuck? Nice. You know what? I'll give her credit. She showed it. And you could clearly see the long gun being very long at his feet. But at least she showed it. Good for you. Good for you doing the fucking news like you should do it. Showing people what actually fucking happened. At least they have some balls at Fox 10 in Phoenix. Everybody else is too much of a pussy to show the fucking news. Adults are watching. We can handle seeing a corpse.
So, you know, they are going to be very, very, very tense right now. As they are, they're trained, they're on their heightened alert. They're going to probably make approach, see if that vehicle's clear. We haven't seen any medical aid being rendered, so we believe that that person that was out of the vehicle, the suspect that was inside that vehicle, is probably declared deceased at this time. Some of these officers, especially the SWAT guys, they're trained rescue. They are actually paramedics, so they can make those type of assessments, render aid if needed, or declare a person deceased. Right now, you can see that activity, that other truck moving around, just trying to probably get a better angle looking inside that vehicle. This happening again on Richardson, in the Redlands area, very near San Bernardino, just south of the San Bernardino airport. Officers converging on.
You see how racist San Bernardino police force is? They killed this poor innocent man on Black San Bernardino Avenue.
Right now you see a K-9 deployed. We understand it's possible if there is a suspect in this vehicle, which is why they're so interested in it, and possibly in the back seat. Again, the condition of that suspect, we're hearing different things. We're not so certain. We're not sure if he's alive or not alive, but they are very, very concerned. You see that K-9 there, David? That is possibly what they're going to use to deploy. Depending, if they can't talk him out, they may use some other diversionary tactics to try to get him out. Maybe some flashbangs, maybe some pepper balls, or even possibly sending in the dog. But what they don't want to happen is that suspect is still armed. They don't want to lose a very valuable police dog. They've got lots of armament, lots of concealment, lots of cover, and time is on these officers' side right now. They are trained for exactly this. So they're trying to determine if this suspect is alive or dead and make a decision based on that.
I keep waiting for Jeff to jump in and be like, good job, bro. Way to show those tactical officers. That's fucking bitchin', man. We're gonna get so many goddamn Emmys for this, bro. Show the corpse again, Cindy. Show the people the corpse again. They want to see that fucking body. I want that award, Cindy.
No, Colin, when we came up on the scene, what we saw was the suspect that was downed near the tree with the long rifle at his feet. Well, at that time, we did not know if there was additional suspects. Right now, they were dealing with that suspect down. Then we saw all the other officers to the west with all their guns pointed back towards the car, so we could safely assume there was an additional suspect. They obviously downed the first suspect, and now the second suspect is in. We haven't gone in tight enough to see if there's movement because, again, we don't want to show a live gun battle on the air because that could be extremely troublesome for our viewers. So right now we're holding this kind of medium to wide shot right now in case this suspect makes any overt movement towards these SWAT officers because they will not hesitate to open fire and to neutralize this suspect in this vehicle right now. So we have not been able to see that, nor have we been getting cleared from the booth to go any tighter. And I think it's probably a good idea just to stay at this focal length right now to make sure to see, we'll see what happens here. We'll see.
I wish the news would answer my questions, like how long are the guns that the SWAT officers are using? Could you give me a measurement in meters? I need to know just how long their long guns are, and if they're longer than the suspect's long guns. Who's going to win in this battle of my guns?
Yeah, Colleen, I didn't get close enough to see that, but it was very obvious. What we did see, obviously, we saw the suspect down. We saw the blood coming from the suspect and the assault rifle or long rifle at the suspect's feet. Other than what he's wearing, we didn't get close enough to stay close enough to see that because we were live on the air at that particular moment. So it was uncertain whether he's matching the description of the suspects that were in the shooting, but extremely brazen, if you will, for this suspect, knowing that all these officers in this area are hunting for them, to be actually out driving this vehicle. If this is indeed the suspects that were involved in the IRC shooting, which it's hard to believe it wouldn't be, but that's still under investigation. But if it was, it's very interesting to see that they were actually out driving around, which is very concerning. Were they out looking for more victims? Because you would think that these suspects would be in hiding, that vehicle would be in a garage somewhere, and they would be hunkering down and they got away from this thing alive, but obviously not. Obviously an officer is driving around, keen officers making observations, spotted this vehicle, went into pursuit. There was that traffic accident at 2nd and Allen where Miriam was, and uncertain again of an officer officer was hurt or grazed, or if that was an additional suspect. So if that's the case, and if that was a suspect at 2nd and Allen, that would account for 1. If this suspect is indeed inside this SUV, that would account for 2. And the third suspect that's just down and presumably dead on the left-hand corner of your screen behind the tree, that would be suspect number 3, which is also a very unique coincidence if it is involved with the IRC shooting.
So it seems like this situation is going to be held for a while. They mentioned that the police had a name they were floating around. Let's see if anybody actually has posted it in the tag. And if it turns out to be Farouk Sahid, I'll be amazed. Severely delayed pattern recognition at its finest. What is this? We have a pattern now of mass shootings in the country that no parallel anywhere else in the world. That's from... Oh, really? Why is CNN... What? That's actually... Why is CNN tweeting President Obama with their shitty news stories? That's, wow. They'll shill for shekels anywhere. Hey, President, look at our crappy story. Maybe you can go on camera and cry a little more for us. My kid's school had a bomb threat today again. San Bernardino experienced a shooting, but we don't have a problem, right? How the fuck are those two things related? You want to get rid of guns? What? How do bombs play into that? Okay, I'm not seeing a name anywhere here. Oh, hey, here we go. Close-up of the police dude says is a suspect of the shooting. There would be his long gun. You know what? That looks like a paintball gun to me. See, you load the pellets in there. That's obviously the pellet holder. Yeah, that's clearly a paintball gun. This man has been murdered for no reason. He was just going to go play a game of paintball with his friends. Sad day here today. These shootings have to stop. Breaking San Bernardino bullshit lol 2. Training exercise hoax. Let's listen. If this will play.
Okay, they're interviewing this guy, right? No emotion, just talking shit. Listen to him.
Okay, it's just ripped from the television. Yeah. That's a, oh God, what do they call them? Crisis actor, apparently, is what Totally Greek is saying. These are crisis actors. Well, I mean, we did see a guy laying in the street with a paintball gun. People are saying it's just a prank, bro. Well, they're trying to outdo each other. Could you imagine? This was a prank video for somebody's shitty YouTube channel that just went too far one day? But they're going to get all those clicks. What's Obama going to do or blame this on? Workplace violence, global warming, pro-life? Clearly, this shooting was inspired by global warming. I mean, this is 2015. I mean, come on.
There's hole openings in there. They've got windows that are bulletproof. They can look through it, and it's like a moving wall, a tactical wall, if you will, that can give them a better look than what these the Bearcats can. So that's what they're going to deploy. We saw this piece of equipment roll up to the situation earlier at IRC. Same piece of equipment. They did not need it at that time, but it's actually a forklift as well, so they can actually lift those officers up to a second-story window if need be. So what they're going to do is they're going to back that vehicle up, and they're going to back it right up to that left-hand rear passenger door, and we're going to see what they do with that, possibly take that suspect into custody.
I'm assuming he means there actually is somebody still alive in the vehicle of death, and they brought up a fucking walker gear. Apparently Kojima loaned them one, and they're going to start that fucker up and just go for it.
Again, unconfirmed at this point, that third suspect, if you will, or second suspect, depending on how you're counting, is in the rear seat. Now, that could be erroneous, that could be unconfirmed information, but we will know where that suspect is as soon as we see this TAC cat move in. They'll close that door. They're getting plenty of armament, plenty of bodies in there. They'll close that door, and they'll move that right up to that vehicle.
All right, and we are anticipating another press conference coming up in the next few minutes, so if you see me switch screens, it's due to an update from officials.
What minutes ago, I spoke with several witnesses who said they actually witnessed the gunfire between police and the suspect. They say the dark SUV stopped at the intersection, the door opened, a man got out and started firing. One of the witnesses I spoke with said it sounded like the 4th of July. He said thousands of bullets just started spraying. People in their cars ducked for safety. They were very scared. At that point, they said police swerved in, moved very quickly, and started exchanging gunfire with that suspect. That suspect, we're told, who was also shot. One of the witnesses I spoke with said he actually saw him hit. Again, this is in an area near several businesses. People came out to see what was going on. Obviously, a huge commotion. I'm standing next to several police vehicles as well as several fire trucks as well. This area is still cordoned off. But again, just a complete chaotic scene out here earlier. About 15 minutes ago, again, is when all of this gunfire erupted. And the witnesses out here say they are just glad that they weren't hurt because one of the bullets hit their car door.
Peter, let me ask you this question. When you say the SUV stopped in the intersection and the suspect got out and opened fire, was he shooting at police officers or was he firing his weapon indiscriminately?
My understanding, according to witnesses, Paul, is that the suspect started shooting towards the direction of police, although many drivers, of course, were in the area, parked nearby, waiting at the intersection, so, of course, they were caught in the crosshairs. A lot of them said that the bullets came so close to them that they felt they could hear it very clearly. One of the witnesses I spoke with said he actually was almost hit himself. That's when they tailed it out of here. But, of course, you know, the police were the ones who arrived and were the ones who were directly engaging with the gunfire with the suspect.
Well, you know what, Peter, it sounds like, I mean, it was a split second that this happened, that they really didn't have time to try to secure the civilians in the area or advise them to get their vehicles out of the way.
That's right, and that's why police were obviously very quick to move in and get a lot of the people out of the direction from where all this was happening. You know, and of course, again, this is in an area where there are a lot of businesses, a lot of people work here. So of course, police were trying to get a lot of the folks who wanted to come outside and take pictures and see what was going on back inside because this is very dangerous for them as well. But the witnesses I spoke with said the gunfire lasted for several minutes. I said, how many bullets did you hear or how many shots did you hear fired? They said thousands.
Here we go. Walker Gear's on the move.
Peter, let me ask you this question. From that intersection to where this active crime scene is taking place, what's the distance?
I need a street here, Tracy, if you can give it to me. Okay. Yeah, David, we're here with you. Yeah, we're good, David. If you...
I love it. They build this giant fucking bulletproof enclosure, and they're all holding at the top of it with their hands. So when he shoots, they're all going to get their fingers blown off. It's A+ design on the Metal Gear.
Better do it quick. Okay. Better do it quick. We're doing a network hit, so just bear with me. How soon, Jay? How soon, Jay?
All right, here we go.
What? And David, we are here in San Bernardino right now where the IRC shooting has occurred, and right now there was a pursuit that occurred, a very hellacious pursuit with gunfire. We understand that at least one suspect is dead. When we came overhead, we saw that the suspect was down. He had a long rifle at his feet. A second suspect is in this dark-colored SUV, which matches the description of the suspect vehicle from the IRC shooting. Right now, sheriff's deputies using what's called a rook, a tactical deployment vehicle, to go up to the rear of this vehicle to see if the suspect is still alive. One down suspect in this. There are reports of a third suspect that during this pursuit was involved in a shootout at 2nd and Allen, just a couple miles west of here. But right now you can see units deployed, SWAT units deployed on this, trying to get the suspect into custody, checking to see if he is actually alive or not. They think he's shot. They're trying to figure out if he is shot right now. This rook, this tactical vehicle called a rook, is now deployed up to the door. You can see several detectives and SWAT members. This is a very unique piece of equipment that is used in this type of situation. It's a wall, a tactical wall, if you will, of bulletproof metal and glass that's deployed right up against the side of this vehicle. You see 2 Bearcats, one on the left, one on the right. Bearcats are armored vehicles, which are so important in situations like this to block that suspect in. You see a tactical team of 6 officers, what they call a stick, a tactical stick of operators, SWAT operators, coming into the room.
Tactical sticks are confirmed, chat. Tactical sticks are on the scene.
This vehicle presumably is incapacitated or dead. It is hard to see right now what exactly is happening, but right now that is the situation here, very live and very, David, we're going to throw it back to you right now, though, why they get this suspect into custody.
Oh, they're zooming in super close now.
They can do dynamic entries. There are long rifles or sniper.
I love how they're giving... These guys spend millions of dollars on all this tactical gear, this fucking bulletproof wall built on the back of a fucking tractor. And then what do they use when they go in, after spending all this money on all this high-tech shit? A fucking stick. That's their solution. Let's build a fucking Metal Gear and then whack the suspect on the head with a stick. And that's what they're doing. They're driving up and hitting him with a stick to see if he's alive, and now they're backing away to see if he yells at them. That's fucking brilliant.
Or the armored truck on the other side. They're all wearing gear here. They don't want to take any chances.
Let's keep Aaron Cohen's mic open just in case. Aaron, you want to say anything? I mean, certainly we're offering, a lower brow speculation.
You guys are doing a great
can.
job. You guys are doing. I mean, what we're seeing right now is exactly what it is. SWAT teams are comprised and broken down into entry teams. There's definitely sharpshooters that are up in elevated positions right now, which are also providing intel to those operators who are on the ground. And they may just be trying to get these guys out of the car. It might be that simple, and they're not.
What?
And they're not going to want to open a door, and they're not going to want to unbuckle a seatbelt. This is basically what we're seeing right here is a slow and deliberate clear of a vehicle. Vehicle tactics are of the most complicated because the problem is, guys, you can't.
I need more tactical assessments. I need more reporters to talk about the tactical stick. And what is it called? We've got armored vehicles called Bear Claws, and their fucking tractor with a metal wall welded on it called a rook. So you can't just call it a tactical stick. It needs a better name than that. And I need to know how the tactical stick is deployed. What's the proper usage of a tactical stick? Oh, hey, look, they're dragging the body out. They're dragging a corpse out of the fucking truck. Is that a body or is that a bag? It's either somebody who's dead or a fucking explosive device. Grab that tactical stick. He's got it ready. He's ready to go in and use the tactical stick on this escalating situation. I love it. This guy's poking his head out with, he's like, hey, hand me the tactical stick. I want to poke that bag, see what's going on. Oh, that's a body. I think that's a body. I think that's somebody they dragged out of there. Yeah, they must be concerned that there's going to be a bomb in the truck. Still amazed those windshield wipers are still working, by the way. That's American-built quality right there. You can get lit up by a SWAT team and your windshield wipers will still function.
But they've sandwiched that SUV in. There's been one suspect shot and I believe killed. At the bottom of your screen, it's a very bloody scene. We're not going to show you that. And that suspect is in cuffs. We didn't see any movement. And again, that's at the bottom of your screen. We're keeping that covered for you. A second suspect was just pulled from the back seat of that SUV. His condition is unclear. We haven't seen any movement. We only saw the body being pulled or falling from the back seat of that bullet-riddled SUV. This is the chase that ended on San Bernardino Avenue west of Mountain View. This is at Cheddar, and that's right by the San Bernardino International Airport, not too far from the Santa Ana River Wash. And as you can see, there's a lot of picket fences here in the neighborhood. This is a very heavily populated residential area. This did end in a barrage of gunfire. I just did an orbit around the SUV. The windshield is bullet-riddled. Many of the other windows are blown out.
I love how you can tell that they don't have much to talk about at this point because they're adding in all the fucking descriptive terms. It was a hellacious chase. And you can see the tactical gear that they're using. After this hellacious, it ended in tragedy. Just going over we can watch the live stream. We don't really need the feed of him explaining the current showdown. They used a stick to drag a body out of the back seat. There you go, folks. I summed up the last hour of coverage for you. They use an actual stick to hook a body and pull it out of a car, and they've got their fucking ATVs, their goddamn kitted out fucking SUVs with 14 inches of fucking plate armor on them, flanking the vehicle. They got a guy down here. I don't know is this just a hole for him to pop up, or is there a fucking mounted gun he can put on that bad boy? But they're just surrounding it. They're reloading the tactical stick. It needs to be it needs some maintenance. You can only hook one body with it at a time. If you don't know that, I'm an operator, so I can tell you these things because I have inside information. But you need to reload the tactical stick before you deploy it a second time. Apparently, SWAT's solution is to let the corpse decompose in the street before they put the handcuffs on it. Let's see what CBS has to say.
She says that there is a possible DOA suspect in or near that vehicle. This occurred after a police shootout. There was a pursuit just prior to that, as Peter Doubt has been outlining for us. But she said that according to the officials, one suspect has fled the scene. When I asked her about a third suspect, she said that she has no information about that. But again, one suspect DOA in or near the car and another suspect has fled. Again, that's according to this public information officer with ATF who is here at the scene. We are awaiting more information from San Bernardino officials, both the sheriff and the police chief. We haven't seen them lately. They said that there would be a briefing around 4 o'clock, but they also did indicate that in light of all that's going on a couple of miles from where I'm standing, that could be delayed. But there could be a suspect still outstanding.
Well, you know what, Michelle, if we're looking at the number of people that we heard were involved in this, 1 to 3, and it seems like 3 have been accounted for, that would be a 4th person that would be on the loose. Of course, the officers at the beginning said up.
Well, thank you for the math update, CBS. They're still reloading the tactical stick.
Yeah, and if my camera's clear, I can take you there right now.
I'm gonna try to give you that visual,
okay.
Although it is not.
Okay, hold on.
It's fuzzy.
Over here, I'm there.
So
that's
the
my scene.
Suspect
I think
is
I've got the fulfillment center. It's on the southeast corner, right?
And this is not great quality, but I want to take you to it. We know 2 suspects down, and 1 suspect is apparently barricaded in a nearby home.
Oh, fuck. We've got a standoff situation. Suspect barricaded in a home.
And we are waiting to clear up. I'll give you this. Hopefully this clears up. And until it clears up, I'm going to take you back to the active scene.
California. Okay, so northbound California stopped. In fact, north and south stopped. Northbound is backed up below and under the 10.
All right, well, they'll eventually get footage from the standoff scene, but they're going to need more tactical sticks to handle that. For those of you that don't know, the SWAT team on scene is, because I'm an operator, I'm going to tell you, like these reporters, I'll give you the inside information into the lingo. They're going to ride their bear claws up to the suspect who's barricaded in, and they'll do the entry dance, which is where you kick open the door and scream tango, tango, tango while clucking your arms. They'll be outfitted with at least 2 tactical sticks per person, and at least 3 different long guns of varying lengths. One will be a foot long, one will be 1.5 feet long, and then they have the big daddy of long guns, the 3-foot long one. But they have to ask permission to use that because that's a big gun. That's a long fucking gun for the SWAT team. So two suspects dead, 1 barricaded in a house. Let's see how this plays out.
Confirm 1 or 2 additional bodies by the truck.
You can see SWAT team and police officers standing near it.
Okay, very good, very good.
Here's
I want to see that second one. That's it with a tarp.
This is an active scene.
Dane, just advance notice. Once our shot is clear, we're going to zoom around and look in here.
And I'm going to continue to.
Oh, I've got somebody in chat that doesn't like the commentary. Hey, David Dare, how about you fuck off to another stream then? You could go to the source stream. You know, you don't have to watch this one. There are plenty of them that exist out there right now. Fox 10's live, CBS is live. You got like 13 different streams you can watch. Yes, chat. He can tactically fuck off. There you go. He can tactically fuck himself. Can you do that, David Dare? Do you know how to tactically fuck yourself? I could eBay you a tactical stick that the SWAT team uses in Phoenix, and you could tactically fuck yourself with it.
All right, just to reiterate, 2 suspects we know are down. We showed you one of the bodies that was lying on the side of the street, as well as one of the bodies that they physically pulled from that SUV. And there were early reports. I mean, it was reported early on that there was a dark-colored SUV involved. Initially, we heard a black Yukon. And now, unfortunately, I've lost my shot, but they believe a 3rd suspect is barricaded inside a home. Oh, wow.
Can I have a right pedal for a second, Dane? I got to find a church here.
Here it is. Oh. I'm going to bring you that view again. Now they believe
that might
the
be
3rd
right below me.
suspect is located inside.
It doesn't look like a church, but I have an L-shaped building I'm on top of.
And you're seeing that in the corner.
There's clearly some salt coming from a few of the people in the chat room. I'm going to guess they're Hillary voters. Didn't enjoy my commentary earlier on. Listen, all I'm saying is the shooting happened in San Bernardino. I think the Democratic Party set it up. I think this is Bernie's way, or Herney's, I should say, of getting those votes. I'm sorry if that tactically is wrong of me. I'll be more tactical in my approach.
Just up from that industrial complex on the north side of all the activity. Oh, I don't see an L. I don't see any L's there.
Was riddled with return fire by the vast number of police and other law enforcement agents who surrounded the vehicle. We understand that there were at least 2 people inside it, possibly a 3rd one, who may or may not be on the run. At this stage, we simply don't know. This is unfolding as we speak. Certainly, we have seen 1 person on the ground laying in a pool of blood. Another person appeared to be in the back seat of that vehicle, and police used some sort of device to push out that person who appeared, from what we could see, certainly not to be alive.
All right, I'm going to switch it over to the CBS stream. Oh, we got the press conference going on with Miss Malkinson.
That are working this active shooter case. We're doing follow-up work when they located what appeared to be the suspect's vehicle. Somehow during that contact, shots were exchanged between the suspects and the officers. One officer was injured, however, he was transported to a local hospital, and it does not appear to be a life-threatening injury. I believe he is a San Bernardino police officer. Additionally, some suspects, or a suspect, has been hit. I believe there is still possibly a suspect outstanding. So it's still, again, a very active, fluid situation. We don't have a lot of answers yet. They're still trying to sort through what they've encountered on the other end at the other scene. Chief Burguan is going to be coming here at 4:45 with Sheriff McMahon and again do a press conference so that you can speak to him directly and he can update you with any information.
Sergeant, what about the possibility of a third suspect?
I'm sorry.
How many suspects on it? Suspect count.
I don't know. I believe that there are 2 at this time being dealt with.
And is one on the run?
If there were originally 3 suspects, there's still possibly 1 outstanding.
Holy shit, is she clinically retarded? There's news coverage she could watch. I believe there's 2 that are being dealt with. No fucking shit. I saw their corpses in the street. I'm curious about the one that's barricaded in the house, Ms. Malkinson. Can you lisp yourself into answering that question? Is that a possibility? Maybe somebody give her some intel so she doesn't look like the world's biggest fucking idiot up on the mic?
Suspects leave the meeting this morning and then return with 2 others.
I don't know. That's information I've not been given.
So the scene sergeant over here that is active, can you please go over once again how many suspects are in custody and how many you believe?
I don't have any of those details. The chief will provide those at 4:45. He's being briefed on that as we speak. We're just speaking here because we committed to talking to you on the hour, and I apologize we don't have all of the information.
Is the building cleared yet?
That we don't, I don't know.
Vicky, the officer that was struck, tell us where the movement is, what kind of incident we're talking about.
I don't have that information either. I just know it's not life-threatening. I don't know if the suspect...
This has to be a joke. Is this a real news conference? Are the suspects dead? I don't know. Turn on CBS. You can check for yourself. Is the officer still alive? I don't know. Is there another guy on the loose? I don't know. How long were their long guns? I don't know. How many tactical sticks do you have left? I don't know. I have a feeling she might have got the job to fill a quota rather than knowing what the fuck she's doing. Who put her on the mic? Jesus.
Still out here, and we all need to be careful.
But again, the officers came in contact with that SUV because they were doing follow-up investigation.
That's correct. It led them that way. Correct.
Do you know who opened fire? Do you know what the suspect opened fire?
I don't know who fired first. I don't know. All right. Again at 4:45. Thank you.
The information changes minute by minute as
No information changed. She didn't tell you anything. She got up there and said, I don't know, for fucking 5 minutes straight.
Very well, maybe a suspect still out here, and we all need to be careful.
But again, the officers came in contact with that SUV because they were doing follow-up investigation.
That's correct. It led them that way. Correct.
And they saw the vehicle.
I don't know who fired first. I don't know. All right. Again at 4:45.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God, I hope she never has to testify in court. So Miss Malkinson, Officer Malkinson, did the suspect repeatedly shout, I'm going to kill this bitch, I'm going to kill this bitch, pull out his gun and then shoot her in the head? I don't know. I don't know if that happened. But you were standing right there, Miss Malkinson. Officer Malkinson, you were looking right at the suspect. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't have that information. Maybe he did. I just don't know. She needs some tactical training to figure out how to know things.
suspect vehicle. Carter, what's the latest?
I'm about a mile away from the suspect vehicle, but behind me is the Inland Regional Center where this massacre occurred about 5 hours ago. As you said, it was a normal workday when the workers there saw what they say were 3 gunmen dressed in black with body armor and assault rifles opened fire on the crowd. The local police chief here said it looked like they came prepared as if they were on a mission.
Police say the masked gunmen were wearing body armor when they entered the building just after 11 a.m. and started shooting.
I turned on from XPX, I was walking, all of a sudden, boom, 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 and she was playing, and all of a sudden, boom! It was
rapid.
like right
boom,
here.
Boom, 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 boom,
And then they said they're on the loose. And,
and I was right behind the building,
I started walking,
and I heard all the shots.
Multiple shots going off like crazy, just one right after the other. And as I came out, then we had seen a black SUV flying down the street.
Terry Pettit got a text from his daughter inside.
Shooting at my work, people shot, in the office waiting for cops. Pray for us.
I'm sorry, did that guy just fucking giggle? You heard that, chat. He giggled. Trapped in office waiting for cops. He fucking... Maybe he really is a crisis actor. Just like that guy from Sandy Hook who got out there and they're like, he's about to give the press conference, he's laughing and smiling. The moment they start the press conference, he's weeping.
Well, what's your take on all this, man? This is your wife.
This is my life, man. This is my queen. I'll do anything to protect her. She helps our kids with autism. I don't know why anyone would do anything right there, but...
14 people injured in the shooting were sent to area hospitals, while police set up a triage area in the street.
Most of the people that were wounded, most of the victims were all centrally located in one area of the facility.
Jared Burgon is chief of the San Bernardino Police Department.
Is that they came prepared to do what they did as if they were on a mission.
The FBI and ATF were called in, and police are still looking for the suspects who fled the scene in a dark-colored SUV. Debbie Alvarado rushed to find her daughter Michelle, who'd been shot.
She told me she was shot in her side, and that they were pretending to be dead because these guys were still out there.
Can you get it out?
And she told me not to come. She told me it was dangerous. These guys are still at large. You know that, right?
Hundreds of people were evacuated. A total of 670 work inside. Assistant FBI Director David Bowditch.
Is this a terrorist incident? I will tell you right now, we do not know if this is a terrorist incident.
They don't know if it's a terrorist incident, but certainly many people terrorized. 14 fatalities in this massacre behind me today, 17 people injured. And then about an hour ago, a massive change here. A large number of police vehicles, armored tactical vehicles, racing off to another scene about a mile from here, where they encountered that dark SUV that witnesses reported the suspects fled in. There was a tremendous amount of gunfire, we're told. You could even hear it over the police scanner. We understand that at least one suspect is down. Another may have been captured. But that leaves a question about the third suspect that so many witnesses spoke of. Does a third suspect exist? Police can't completely confirm that right now. But if a third suspect exists, chances are, Scott, he's still out there.
Carter Evans reporting for us at the scene. Carter, thank you. There's 17 people who were injured in one way or another, many of them shot. We're told that some of them are lightly wounded, some of them are in critical condition, and our John Blackstone is at one of the hospitals. John?
Scott, this is the Loma Linda Medical Center, which is a Trauma 1 level 1 medical center.
Okay. So, one still at large. Let's see if there's any information in the misspelled hashtag for this. Take a look. Ontario PD cleared parking structure roof. Dear media, do not share the name of the shooters. Do not give them that fame. The victims are deserved to be known. Well, they're going to kind of have to give the names out. It was a fucking massacre in the building. People have a right to know who the fuck did it and know why they did it. Pray for the people. Others were saying that the police scanner had names that were bandied about between different officers, but I haven't seen anybody post them yet. I'm just looking to see if it pops up, but I'm not seeing it here, chat. I don't care what race the shooters are, it's bullshit, period. This disgusting plague that has infested our nation will continue if we keep ignoring the why and address only the how. Take heart, it becomes a constant internal dialogue. More people praying, going over the basic facts. One officer was injured with the shootout. Mass shooting suspects, his injuries are not life-threatening. Let's see if anybody has the name. Was this the long gun? Is this the suspect with his long gun? Yeah, his gun is much bigger than the police's. No wonder they're being tactical about the situation. That's got to be a good 7 feet long. That's a mighty long gun. Watch on Periscope. Police scanner San Bernardino connection may cut out. I'll jump to the Periscope if the CBS and Fox coverage is still a little eh. CBS interview in a nutshell, I don't know. Yeah, that was the entire interview. She doesn't know anything. Too soon. Here's a good look at the tactical stick. Is this really the fucking stick they were using? You're kidding me. Yeah, that's a tactical stick the tactical team used in their tactical situation. Footage of the tactical stick being deployed. Let's take a look at the proper usage of a tactical stick.
Last one there's the penis pump.
That's no fair. You're no
Holy cow, I'm totally going so fast. Oh, fuck!
Fun.
Oh, you gotta do what you do, what you do.
Hey, what the fuck are you kids doing on my fucking lawn? And don't look at me when I'm fucking talking to you.
Help
Get that
me,
kid off my
help.
eyes, you little wankers. Alright, give him the stick. Don't give him the stick.
Do you know my dad?
Oh, G.I. Joe!
Clearly that's clearly the way you use the tactical stick. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Yeah, I like that their budget, they probably ran out of money, so they went down to the local Menards or something. And they're like, just grab a fucking John Deere tractor, who gives a shit? We'll paint it black, camo the fucking thing up, and then just weld a wall onto it. All we need is a wall to block our tactical stick usage. No, I think they might be at the scene of the second... okay, yeah. This looks like the second scene surrounding a house. It doesn't appear that... I can't imagine they're in there because you got a couple cops just wandering about. If there's a suspect holed up in there, this guy's insane for standing out in the fucking driveway. He'd get popped from the window. I think they're trying to figure out what best bush to hide behind. You know, those bulletproof bushes saved them last time, so they're scouting the area. It's part of their training. Should they go over here? Will this tree tactically protect them? Or maybe this tactical fence will give them the bulletproof measures.
Folks, if you're just joining us, police are searching for the third suspect in relation to this mass shooting that happened earlier today. 2 suspects already down. Police are actively searching for a third suspect.
Thank you.
There was reports about 20 minutes ago that there was an individual jumping fences in this neighborhood here.
Shit, looks like they're moving out. Maybe it's not this house then. Maybe it's the one next door. Oh, look at them all. Fuck. Yep, they're going into the house in the back. Okay, that explains it. Are they protecting the vehicle with their bodies? What's the point of having a plated vehicle that's bulletproof if you all grab onto it like this? They've created a human shield around their fucking bear claw armored vehicle so it doesn't get scuffed up when the fucking suspect shoots at them. This is called the tactical clown car. That's the official name.
I think so. All I need is the east-west, because I know it's off Richardson. Why don't I see? Where is your SWAT truck? Should be to the right is where. Why am I not seeing your SWAT though? I'm looking 9. Right, right. 1 block or 2 blocks up? Might be Davidson.
All right, let's try CBS. Maybe they have a better angle. Okay, it looks like they're in the front of the house. The other stream's at the back.
They're going to come up another block, and they're going to do the same thing through these residents right here. But it really does seem like they are searching, actively searching for somebody. Extreme numbers of officers out here on foot with K9, searching for what I believe would be another suspect.
Yeah, you know, Stu, it is a strange situation because if the up to 3 shooters left the regional center shortly after the shots were fired, let's say which started at 10:59. I mean, if they left at 11:20, let's say, just to pull a random time out of my head, you know, if they get in an SUV, they could have been a long, long way away if they wanted to get out of Dodge. And then they show up at this intersection where one steps out of the SUV, fires at a police officer, narrowly missing civilians, and then they take off down the street, and that's when we saw all of those police vehicles start to swarm that area, and they end up in a gun battle in a bullet-riddled SUV. They had to go somewhere for a while. They just couldn't drive around town. So clearly that SUV was parked somewhere in San Bernardino, and eventually they got back in the SUV and decided to move on.
Looks like, are they questioning more than... Oh, go ahead, Stu. I'm trying to just look at what they're doing now. I was just going to make a comment about
Paul's statement. You know, you have... We cannot, you know, as average people, we cannot put ourselves in the minds of somebody that would do an atrocity as those persons did, or person.
I love the fact the newscaster just went on national television and said, none of this makes any fucking sense. Why would they create this? Why would they go and commit this massacre and then go joyriding around San Bernardino only to get caught 1 mile away from the scene of the crime? They had to go somewhere. What were they doing? Yeah, it is kind of fucking weird, isn't it? Like, what there was 2.5 hour gap between the shooting and when the shootout in the intersection happened. What the fuck were the suspects doing? They couldn't. It's not like they went to McDonald's and had a fucking value meal. Like, oh hey, we killed 14 people. I really could go for I don't know, a couple of hamburgers right now. Yeah, and then we'll go find the suspects. Oh look, he just magically appeared in the intersection. It's really bizarre.
That means either. Tom Waite, can you fill us in on some information?
Well, Pat, right now I can tell you a very serious situation. Obviously, from our position, we're not revealing exactly where we are because we don't want to reveal the tactical positions, as Stu was saying.
Tactical positions.
This, but you can take a look and see a very active group of officers just beyond us and keeping this area sealed off as they go home to home. We heard a very frantic situation, obviously not very long ago, where they were talking about these suspects. Shots were fired. You could hear all of this happening on the police scanner. You could hear the shots going back and forth. It was very frantic. Right now, the police officers that were here have backed off a little bit. They had their guns drawn at this position across the bed of a pickup truck, and they were very closely guarding that area, kind of in the distance where the suspects, we believe, had been fired on, or that may have been pulled out of that SUV. So that kind of paints a picture from this angle. They were kind of trying to contain this entire area. All of this unfolding within a couple of miles from where the shooting happened this morning. So it gives you a sense, as we've been talking about on the air, how close everything is together here, and how Paul was saying these suspects theoretically could have gotten very far, and for whatever reason they did not, or if they did, they came back. And that's how eventually, obviously, police did catch up with them. And now we do see air support right now. We see choppers up in the sky. We also saw, I've seen some Twitter posts from various reporters that some people were cuffed, but that has not been confirmed by police, that someone was taken from a home in this area. But again, this is so fluid right now. I think police are having a hard time keeping track of all of the developments, as you heard in that press conference just a short time ago, with police talking about some of the latest numbers. That officer we did hear, by the way, in the middle of the pursuit, he was injured, or she was injured, was taken to the hospital. Minor injuries. We understand it was a ricocheted bullet that may have hit that officer, and that officer doing okay at this point. But there you have it. That is kind of latest from our position right now. Very fluid and developing situation.
I love how the news guy's like, we don't want to give away their position. It's a tactical position. He's like Geraldo was during fucking Shock and Awe. As he's saying that, you have aerial shots. I can see what street they're on. What do you mean you don't want to give away their position by showing what's going on? Anybody that has an internet connection can watch fucking helicopters, 19 of them, stream live right now. I can see the SWATs rolling down the street in their tactical clown car formation of using their human bodies to protect the paint job on their fucking Hummer. I've never heard a newscast use the word tactical so fucking much as CBS and Fox.
Spoke with several witnesses just moments ago, a lot of them very concerned because they were there when that gunfire erupted between the suspect and the officers. Take a listen.
He kind of pulls over, he just comes to a stop, and then the cops stop, and all the bullets just started going. From there, I mean, the cars behind me, we were ducking and swerving, and they just kept coming and coming. So we kept driving, so people kept driving too. This dude gets out of his truck, and he's filming, and a bullet flew right by him. I was across the street from him, and I heard the bullet, and he jumps out of the way, and he got behind his truck. I'm like, dude, get out of the way, because they wouldn't stop coming. The bullets just kept flying, and then you heard the cops, like, I mean, thousands of shots. It sounded like they just wouldn't stop.
Obviously, a very frantic scene for a lot of these people out here. This is next to several businesses, and a lot of people who were working actually said they came outside to see what was going on. Again, they heard thousands of shots fired. They said it sounded like the 4th of July. So many sounds, a lot of people ducking for cover. And again, a very fluid situation right now as police continue to check the IDs of drivers.
Yeah, that's the other word he likes to use, fluid and tactical. If there was ever a situation that involved tactical fluids, I think his fucking head would explode. And I'm not sure what these cops are doing. They're joyriding down the street with 48 of them holding on. I feel like I'm watching footage from India. Like they're driving down the designated poo street, and they're trying not to get any on their boots. So they're all jumping on the local bus with grasping desperately. It's fucking ridiculous. And if the suspects have internet access, they're watching this too. I'm probably laughing, considering the tactics we're seeing being played out on fucking national television. I want the names. People are saying they heard them on the scanner. I want to know what their names are. Using a tragedy for argument points pull. Yes, I'm retarded. No, I'm not disgusting. BC the man. If there may be a suspect on the loose, we can't get a possible description, clothing, height, anything. San Bernardino. No shit, right, man? You think the police, for the safety of the neighborhood, would at least tell you what the suspect looks like, or a general height. But then again, he's dressed like fucking death incarnate, isn't he? I mean, he's wearing kitted out gear, a fucking black face mask, and he's got a really long fucking gun. Just look for the guy with the longest gun on the street and stay away. That's my pro tip to you. Where's all this activity happening? Yeah, which place is it happening in? That's a good question. The misspelled one or the proper one? Twitter, can you fix the error? People are misspelling my city's name is incorrect. It's with an R. There's a second R, not a single R. Lenny DePaul, retired U.S. Marshal, said he does not believe San Bernardino is the result of international terrorism. Well, nobody knows what it's about because there's no information. We heard the police officer get up at the press conference and say, I don't know, for about 10 minutes. And then it went to news coverage where they kept saying the word tactical and fluid over and over again. Heavily armed police stopped on here we go. Victoria Avenue in South San Bernardino. So they're all over the fucking place right now. Watching live on Periscope, this looks like the aerial footage we were watching earlier. If you're trying to keep up with what's going on in San Bernardino, stick with the correct spelling. It's not San Bernardino. Attention Twitterverse, all criminals obey gun laws. They also register their guns in accordance with state and federal laws. I think that might be sarcasm. FBI cannot confirm if this is a terrorist incident. It is a terrorist act in every sense of the word terrorism. Well, you know, what do you think, chat? Place your bets. Who do you think did it? What do you think the race of the offender is? The offenders, plural. And what do you think the motivation was? If you had to guess and say, this is what I think they were trying to accomplish, and this is why I think they targeted that area, what's your guess? Place your bets now, because they're going to go public probably in the next hour or two with who these people were, what their names were, and what the possible motivation for why they were doing this is. Somebody said justice for Jamar. You think that's what the you think that's what it's about? Somebody said ISIS, Hamas, justice for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Other people are saying Muslims, Hindus, Hydra is a possible suggestion. Somebody said they believe they're white. And got a bunch of people saying it was the Jews. Seems to be about 25% saying Jews, 25% saying Muslims. All the Jews, Arabs, white. It seems the chat's pretty much split three ways. But what was the motivation? You're giving me the race. Why do you think they did it? Black Lives Matters. Allah Akbar. Somebody said Hispanic. Mexican ISIS. You think M13 is on the scene? They came all the way to California to prove a point? Don't forget Operation Holy shit, it really is South Park, isn't it? Yeah, this is what San Bernardino's SWAT team is doing right now in real time on television. That is exactly what they're doing. Using SWAT was doing the Bear Claw, old Soviet Union tactic of using people for tank protection. Well, that appears to be what they're doing as well. Any confirmation on the length of their tactical stick? Can it compete with their long guns? I'm not sure what's longer, the tactical stick or the long gun. That's a question that's going to have to be debated by people on newscast tonight. More prayers, but no information. Did they fix it yet? Nope. People are sheltering in their houses and closets, waiting for the area to be clear near the shootout. I would imagine people are probably on edge, worried that there's a suspect still in the area. Government must do everything in their power to protect citizens, but we must know that the power is not absolute. Police bring down 2 possible suspects, and again, that's what we've already seen. Let's see if we got any more going on. Maybe CBS has some audio.
Gunmen, but again, there are some grieving families that we have not been able to tell you about right now. We just know that they're out there and their hearts are broken.
You also have 14 people who are hospitalized at this point with injuries ranging from perhaps minor to where during the effort to get out of the scene where the original shooting took place early this morning just before noon, just before 11 o'clock, 10:59 in fact, may have tripped and fallen, that kind of thing, to people who are in rather serious condition. And those people are being treated at Arrowhead Regional Center and also Loma Linda Hospital, so you have to keep those people in your thoughts and in your heart as well. It's certainly a horrible, horrific situation that anybody would do this.
And
it just continues to go on in our country, frankly.
It really does. This follows, I think we initially were thinking because of Planned Parenthood and because a lot of people who aren't familiar with the regional centers, there are many regional centers in California, and they deal with the developmentally disabled. A lot of people were questioning, well, did they perform abortions at this facility? Where they certainly do not, but it's not difficult to make that kind of connection when that's the most recent mass shooting that occurred in this country. We do have an updated number for you. There are 17 people that are wounded. We had reported up to 14 initially. Now we know there are 17 people who are wounded.
We also have a map we want to show you of where this whole thing began this morning. As we said, it began in San Bernardino in the 1400 block of South Waterman. You can see that right there. A number of streets are still closed down in that area. I believe the Metrolink is still closed down. They did shut down the San Bernardino station. Part of the freeway was closed down earlier today, but I believe that's open. And so from here, the next thing that happened was this gunfight breaks out in the middle of an intersection between a black SUV, which they were searching for, law enforcement. Guy steps out of the SUV, starts shooting at a police officer, narrowly misses dozens and dozens of civilians in their cars. And then the SUV travels down the street and doesn't get very far, maybe what, Pat, 400 yards, 200 yards, and that's where windows are blown out. The thing is just full of
We're still on San Bernardino Avenue, so that should be in the 1800
block. The cursor's the house search right there. That's moving around the house search. That's that whole area right there.
Now.
And
that's 5 blocks south.
Exactly. And that's where all of those police vehicles are just up and down that street. As Stu pointed out in his last live report with us just a moment ago, that there is no civilian traffic taking place in this neighborhood. There are no pedestrians on the streets, exactly, because that way officers know exactly who they are dealing with. If you're moving you probably shouldn't be outside. You should be indoors, locked down.
And I pointed out that's a good thing to happen because, as we saw earlier, when this initial
So there you have your map update. You get a general idea. They went in a giant fucking horseshoe. They did the shootout on Waterman, went north, and then east, and then south. I have no idea why.
Off to your left, David. You just mentioned stay indoors, keep the doors and windows locked, hunker down, shelter in place, do what you got to do, but stay out of harm's way. You see a lot of residents in the neighborhood. They're looking around right now. Those are SWAT officers in the middle of your screen. It's a heavily populated residential area. They believe that third armed and dangerous suspect, as a result of the chase which ended nearby, may have run into this neighborhood. Some folks made the 911 call earlier saying they saw somebody who looked suspicious jumping fences from yard to yard in the neighborhood, and that's why now on Gould, just off of Richardson, they're doing a methodical search, house by house, yard by yard, checking a lot of cars in the neighborhood, looking in trash cans, looking for that third suspect. The chase came to an end not far from here, maybe a mile away, San Bernardino Avenue, near Mountain View over at Cheddar. 2 people in the SUV. We saw 2 on the ground in handcuffs and no movement. We haven't had the official word yet from officers on the ground, but it looks as though those 2 suspects were killed as a result of that wicked gun battle. One officer suffered a graze wound, a minor wound. He's been hospitalized.
Wow.
And again, just to
It was fucking wicked, bro. Oh my god, they had their long guns out, bro. Like I'm telling you, it was fucking wicked awesome and shit. It was right in the fucking street, man. Like, let's go have some Doritos and shit and talk about this.
wrapped up, and your safety can be assured. Reporting live from Air 7 HD, I'm Bill Thomas, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
I'm loving the color commentary from the fucking helicopter guy.
Clear for fuel. Here we go.
It's A+ shit. It's A+ shit. It's about as good as Jeff fucking taking off for the day and leaving the mayor to stand there like a fucking dipshit at a press conference. That was pretty good too. Fox 10 has the best coverage. CBS really gives you all the angles, but Fox 10 really gives you the entertainment. I think this is it. 2 suspects dead, potentially another one in the neighborhood. Cops are searching for him, but at the speed they're doing it and the rate they're doing it, I don't know how long that's going to take. It looks like the entire neighborhood has been fucking locked down. They said no civilian traffic. So they're probably going to sweep every single fucking house they can. And look at all the people gathered watching this shit. This guy just shot 30 plus individuals, and they're just gathered there. Oh, fuck, what happened? Did Fox 10 just die?
Moved, and you can see just in the shot the number of different uniforms down there tells you that these are multi-agency task force. Those are different different types of law enforcement down there, be it police, highway patrol, sheriff's department, maybe even some marshals are down there as well. But they're all down there, they're all armed, and they all seem to be looking at that one house right here. But again,
they're having a staring contest. The Fox 10 confirms that San Bernardino police are engaged in a staring contest with the third suspect, currently holed up in a house up the street. They brought out the tactical dogs to help walk the neighborhood to make sure there are no suspects still around. But I see a lot of people in chat saying false flag. Oh, fuck, here we go. There we go. That looks like one of the suspects shot to fucking shit. And this is all the crap they had on him. I'm guessing that's their gear they were wearing. I don't know what that... Oh, don't pull off. What the fuck? So there you go. One guy died outside the car. The other suspect died in the car.
Yes.
I can't tell you if that's a white guy or a Middle Eastern guy, but I can tell you that didn't look black to me, and neither does the other suspect. So it's white, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, or Asian. But I can guarantee you, after looking at the footage, none of those guys look black to me. So chat that put their money on that, you're wrong. We've narrowed it down now to just a few remaining choices.
Earlier on, we had officers and law enforcement walking through that area, cleared it seemed, but now they're back. So there may be something about this church. The name of that church is going to be God's Apostolic Pentecostal. And right now that seems to be the spot where they're starting their search. Maybe they're just kicking this off. They're going to just double check, work their way through the neighborhoods. We're going to stay a little bit wider, but we'll stay on that command post, and we're going to keep an eye and an ear out to see if we get any more information for you guys.
Some people in chat are saying, no, that was a black guy. Was he tactically black? Oh, he was trans black. He was a tactically trans black individual. He's wearing white paint right now to fool people so they won't be able to tell who he is from helicopter footage after the shootout. A lot of people saying right-wing death squad. Looking like that might be what it is. This is going to be interesting when they release the names, because that's going to give us a pretty good indication of who we're dealing with. I'm wondering if in the rubble of all the shit from that SUV that got its fucking ass torn apart, if there's going to be a manifesto or some note explaining what the fuck is going on.
News, the number of officers, the types of officers, and the vehicles. This is definitely a first for me. And you can see these residents out there. You know, hopefully this is a first for them as well. They're starting to get curious. You know, this is the world we live in. Everything is social media. He's probably going to be putting it on the web, taking some pictures. And
is that guy fucking holding a sign up? What is this guy doing, wandering into a fucking police standoff, and he's got like a sign? I guarantee you there's somebody on Tumblr right now doing a vlog from the fucking crime scene, probably holding up a sign talking about trans rights or, I don't know, white privilege. Maybe he'll go hold it over the corpse and be like, this is white privilege, dying in a shootout with the police.
Sheriff's Department, and you know, these are the properties they're searching. You can see officers are staged throughout both sides of this area, and they are have their weapons out, and they're making sure nobody's moving in this area, and nobody has. It's very unusual. Also, we haven't seen any of the residents out in their yards. We haven't seen any of the vehicles moving around. The only movement we have seen in this area, law enforcement, and they are working their way in and out of these properties, searching. We saw a couple of the areas being searched earlier.
Folks, we appreciate you guys being part of Fox 10 News now, part of Fox10Phoenix.com. They are searching for that third suspect in this mass shooting situation.
Looks like Jeff is back at the command console. He only was gone masturbating for the last fucking 2 hours. Holy shit. I'm guessing he's got a real long gun if it takes that long to fucking whack off in the toilet. Oh, did CBS die?
3, let's say 4 or 5 residences
there we go.
that they're specifically interested in. If they're going to try and clear this whole area with nightfall approaching, that's a pretty daunting task.
You're right, they are losing daylight. There's no doubt about that. Darkness can be your friend sometimes, but it also can be a big problem for these officers. And they're out here. They're starting to work their way around. It seems to be they're just kind of double checking. They're backtracking, just making sure they didn't miss anything. This is the same general area that they've been working on. Right there, they're pulling a dog over the wall, a canine unit, one of their officers right there. It's always kind of cool to see them helping each other out. They're working their way into the alley. It seems that there's that gate that they were working on earlier on. So I don't believe...
SWAT team brings a dog to the scene, and the dog takes a shit in the rose bushes. That's some tactical poo in the looing there. I guess that's an Indian dog the SWAT team imported by mistake.
This one solid residential block out here with many residents. They're going to just make sure that this has all been cleared just to make sure that they didn't miss anything, or maybe there is still a suspect hiding in this area.
All right, Stu. Well, one thing we do know, they will continue to search even if nightfall, just to make sure they're going to make every effort to get whoever they think is still out there that has anything to do with this. Just a little a point here that this is the deadliest shooting in U.S. history in the last 3 years. The largest was Sandy Hook. 27 people lost their lives. 14 people here have lost their lives at this shooting in San Bernardino at the Inland Regional Center. We understand that 17 people, at least 17 people, have been wounded, and people have been taken to various hospitals.
Okay, they're just recapping. I'm guessing they have no idea where the suspect is, or if there really is even a third suspect, since the other two are dead, they can't really question them. Let's see. I hope they take the third shooter alive. It would be interesting to hear what the fuck they have to say, because, again, I can't imagine the Inlet, or whatever it is, regional center, their community center that was next to this convention center, is a place that the mentally handicapped go to get community services. So why they chose that is beyond me. ISIS adherents praise San Bernardino massacre. Well, of course they do. Still praying. Oh, rest in pieces. Somebody got a good screen cap. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, you can see pretty clearly that's not a black guy. and the other guy wasn't black either. So I'm not sure what that is. It's hard to tell, but we eliminated one group. A little pool of blood there. Yeah, this truck got fucked up. Just absolutely torn apart. I'm not. It looks like, I don't know what the fuck this is. It looks like he took a fucking parachute with him. Like he was planning on skydiving his way to freedom. But yeah, there's one of the two dead. See if anybody got a picture of the other guy. I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Tactical Corpse is rolling out. There you go. Confirmed photo of the shooter holding his long gun. That is a fucking long gun. And that's a skilled individual. If he killed 14 people with a fucking musket, I can't imagine how he reloaded that in time to do it. Don't use your in-studio higher-tech traffic monitors. Use Google fucking Maps. That sounds about right. Yeah, that is a little surprising. And they didn't even do satellite view, so you get an idea what the neighborhood looks like. They used the basic map function of Google Maps to plot it out. That's really good. SWAT has abstained slightly longish stick. Yeah, that's a good replay of the day. Protecting cat with their bodies. That's a SWAT team. Clown car tactic. Works very well. All right. See if we can find some more fucking information. Oh, here we go. Here come the politicians. Hillary Clinton on San Bernardino mass shooting. I refuse to accept this as normal. We'll take a break and read this dumb shit. Clinton on new mass shooting. I refuse to accept this as normal. This is on the Hill.com. Democrat presidential frontrunner Hillary Clinton on Wednesday weighed in on the reports of a mass shooting in San Bernardino, California, saying the U.S. must work to end gun violence. I refuse to accept this as normal. We must take action to stop gun violence. She tweeted. Of course, she tweeted it. In recent weeks, Clinton has seized on several mass shootings to call for stricter gun control measures, including a shooting at a community college in Oregon in early October and another at Planned Parenthood Clinic in Colorado last week. Her latest call for stricter measures on guns comes after authorities in California responded to reports of a 20-victim shooting. According to the local fire department, police have confirmed multiple victims of the shooting. Senator Bernie Sanders, meanwhile, declared the frequency of gun violence across America. Mass shootings are becoming an almost everyday occurrence in this country, he tweeted. This sickening and senseless gun violence must stop, the Vermont lawmaker added. Another Democratic candidate, former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley. I don't know if you watched the Democratic debates, but O'Malley is a fucking shill. Every time he got a chance to talk, all he did was say, visit my website and give me money. That was O'Malley the entire night. Anyway, Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley also weighed in to the San Bernardino shooting Wednesday. Horrifying news out of San Bernardino. Enough is enough. It's time to stand up against the NRA and enact meaningful gun safety laws. Well, I don't know what meaningful gun safety laws O'Malley wants put in place. I mean, clearly, we need to make sure that only SWAT and police have access to tactical sticks. I don't think anybody is arguing that fact. But I have a feeling O'Malley is going to create a world where we're going to become Britain, where you get arrested for buying fucking sporks at Target, because that's too dangerous of a weapon for any of you civilians to have. Yeah, I love it. They all tweet. That's how much of a shit they give. It was like that politician, what was it, Paul Ryan from earlier today, who's like, can we get a moment of silence? And he literally means a moment, as in like a second, before he talks about fucking Christmas tree ornaments. These people are so fucking shallow and fake. They don't give two fucks. They're using it for their political platform. Oh, I'm so bothered by this. Yeah, like you give a shit. You tweeted about it. You didn't make a fucking statement. You tweeted about it. What a joke. Hot page news. 2 suspects in custody, 1 at large. I don't know if you'd call sending them to the coroner in custody. I think you could say they're dead. They're dead as fucking dog shit laying in the street. We can see their bodies are still there. Until you've spent time I have with the victims of mass shootings, mostly kids at schools, you can't understand how I feel right now. Montel Williams. Really, Montel? Really, you're going to throw your hat in the ring on this one too? Breaking, 1 suspect in custody, 1 holdup, 2 shot. How are these people not getting this right? There are 14 fucking streams going on. 2 guys are dead in the street right now. They haven't been moved. And 1 possibly at large. Farouk Sahi definitely sounds like a white Christian conservative to me. We don't want to have a news conference that tells us jack shit. This isn't about you. Oh, CNN's doing a news conference. I can already... Can you imagine what that's going to be? I have an idea what that's going to be. All right, see if they have any updated information. Still nothing on Fox, of course.
You know what,
Don't make it very far.
And what that says to me, Paul, is that they really didn't have any, even respect for their own lives. You know, anytime you're going to fire on a police officer, you're going to get fired back.
Sure.
So they obviously didn't care. And again, we don't know exactly why they did what they did, but certainly they wanted to make a statement, and they made one, a very deadly statement at that.
Stu, our banner there says SWAT team surround nearby church. That church right there, the lower left of the screen. Has that been cleared? It has been cleared, has it not?
You know, that has been cleared twice as far as we can tell. We never saw the officers make their way inside the church, but they definitely made their way all the way around the perimeter out there. Earlier on, when we first arrived out here, there were 2 of those Bearcats in this parking lot, either end of it, and they had this building surrounded. They had a couple other officers working their way through the neighborhood as they were searching, and that's what led us to believe that perhaps this was a spot that they may have seen those suspects at, or you know, but we do not know. That's unconfirmed information, but we definitely know that that was a spot that they were concerned about. And this was the first place where these officers that we're seeing working their way back down to this area, they're coming back this way. There's another one of those canines right there. So definitely a jumping off point for sure for this search in this neighborhood. This is off of Riverson. You can see some officers right there. They have a garage surrounded. Possibly they had an open door, and maybe it's just a tactical situation where they just don't want to bust in the door and go inside because the suspect may have the upper hand, so they're going to kind of wait this whole thing out, or they're going to wait for their backup. It seems, though, that those officers by that red Mustang still there. This house right here must have some sort of importance, but again, we're just kind of picking up a piece here, a piece there, trying to put the puzzle together the best we can. We do know, though, that there was a pursuit, a shootout of epic proportion. One suspect lost their lives over there, and this all stemming from a shooting where 14 people lost their lives earlier this in the early morning hours out here in the San Bernardino area. So definitely, you know.
Okay, well, I think at the moment this is about as much information as we're going to get. If you're interested in more of this, CBS has a stream, the website cbs8.com, and then, of course, Fox 10 in Phoenix has their YouTube channel, which has a stream going as well. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. I can't. My fucking throat is killing me at this point, and I don't think we're going to get any new information. 2 people are dead. 2 suspects are dead. 1 possibly still on the loose. 14 people have been killed. 17 are injured. 10 of them are in critical condition. 1 cop was injured by a ricocheting bullet. They don't know the identities of the suspects. They don't know the motivation for their attack, but I guarantee you it has something to do with the target they chose. We saw the bodies in the street, so definitely not black. Could be white, could be Mexican, could be Asian, could be Middle Eastern. No idea. But I have a feeling that they'll identify them sometime this evening, by tomorrow morning at the latest, unless they have Officer, I can't even remember her name anymore, Officer Malkinson get up there and say, I don't know again. Anyway, again, if you want coverage, Fox 10 in Phoenix, CBS 8, both have live streams of what's going on right now, but I'm going to cut it out now and go drink something because I feel like I've got fucking gravel in my mouth. And it's freezing up on me. All right. Enjoy the situation. It'll continue to go on to this evening. I don't think there's going to be a shootout. I have a feeling they will, if they find him in the area, they'll just kill him. Well, maybe there'll be a shootout. I don't know anymore. My brain is fucked at this point from watching coverage this long. All right, with that, I'm going to end it.